If you saw my previous video, if the earth is spinning, why don't we feel it? Then I'm continuing that. This is part 2, where I'm debunking physics explained, all right?
Sánchez cocinando.
This is part 2, as promised, where I'm debunking physics explained. And the video that we're talking about is this one right here, ladies and gentlemen. And the link to this is in the video description. All right, so check it out, right? Let me summarize this video and pick up where I left off and continue to slaughter. So in this video, there were several arguments that was made by physics explained that I completely obliterated. And let's go ahead and show. Let's show that real quick. Let's kind of revisit some of those arguments here to show you, what I mean here. Let's go to the shape-shifting model section here. Here we go.
Well, our ancestors didn't believe the Earth was moving either. To them, the Earth felt solid, stable, central. And every day, they saw the sun rise in the east, sweep across the sky, and set in the west. The conclusion seemed obvious. The sun moves, and the Earth stays still. Case closed. But here's the thing. That conclusion wasn't stupid. It was intuitive. It looked that way. Now, there's a story I've always loved, often attributed to the...
Okay, so now let's fast forward a bit because I don't want to hear this long story that he's about to tell. Let's get to the argument.
It's a brilliant little puzzle, because visually, it would have looked like if it looked as though the Earth...
You know what? That's probably wrong of me. Let me be thorough here. Y'all let's just be thorough.
Wait.
No rushing.
Now, there's a story I've always loved, often attributed to the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, though probably apocryphal in nature. Apparently he was walking through the corridors of Cambridge when he turned to a friend and asked, "Why did people once believe the sun goes round the Earth?" The friend replied, "Because it looks that way." To which Wittgenstein responded, "Yes, but what would it have looked like if it looked as though the Earth were rotating?" It's a brilliant little puzzle, because visually it would look exactly the same. The experience of a moving sun from a stationary Earth is indistinguishable from the experience of a stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth.
Now, everybody listen up. The man just said on a flat Earth and a globe Earth, we would observe the sun set and rise the same. As a flat earther, I agree with him. It would be the same on a flat and a globe Earth, but here's the specifics. On a flat Earth, the ground must be still and the sky must be in motion. On a globe Earth, the Earth must be in motion, but the sun got to be still. The sun can't be moving. The sun cannot be moving in order for what he just said to be true. And I'm going to let you hear it out of his own mouth. He just said that it'll be true for a model with a moving Earth and a stationary sun. The current model y'all got don't have a stationary sun, people. Listen.
Probably apocryphal in nature. Apparently he was walking through the corridors of Cambridge when he turned to a friend and asked, "Why did people once believe from the experience of a stationary sun seen from a..." It's a brilliant little puzzle, because visually it would look exactly the same. The experience of a moving sun from a stationary Earth is indistinguishable from the experience of a stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth.
Now here's the thing. That is true, but here's what's wrong with it. His model don't have a stationary sun. Now his model used to have a stationary sun. That was a long time ago. But they do have a more complex vortex model that they use. So they're trying to make arguments to explain the nature of the heavens on their model, but they cannot make they can't make an accurate claim or good argument for their current model. So what you would find is that the globalists have to shapeshift back and forth to different models, which is very, very, now come on, even if you're a globe earther, you gotta admit, but see, they never gonna do that because they were born into a belief system, guys. That's right. And they will make it make sense no matter what you say to them that debunks it. There's no way that the flat earther and globe earther can have a sunrise and sunset the exact same way unless the globe earther model is a stationary sun with a moving globe. Facts. We got a caller. Let me see. I want opposition only, but I'm going to be breaking this down. So don't go nowhere. Hit the like and share button. We just summarizing right now. We finna really show you all the nail in the coffins, people. We got somebody on the call by the name of Rod S. I need a mic check because we do get trolls occasionally.
And I'm one of them.
All right. Are you here for opposition? And how you doing, by the way?
I'm doing fine. I'm ready to post some shit.
Are you ready to are you a globe earther? It don't matter. Just tell me what you are so I can move on. It don't matter.
I'm leaning more towards the globe. I don't think we live on a flat plane.
Okay, how much time do you have today on your hand to discuss this with me?
I got some time to kick it.
Okay, then just sit back. I'm gonna kind of go through this, kind of continue through the video. And I tell you what, if you hear me say something that you would like to interject on, and we'll stop the video for you. You're the first caller. So, but let me continue kind of laying a foundation for him. But if you would like to interject, feel free to do so.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna get back to it. Like and share, everyone. We'll be discussing that. So, first of all, Rod, before I go to my next argument, did you hear the first argument that was just made?
I did not.
Okay, so I want to also let you know that I'm debating an actual physics channel. This is a physics channel, so the reason I want to throw that out there is because when I start debunking the physics channel, a lot of regular people will start making other arguments. And I will have to remind them, hey man, that's not what the physicists said. I gotta debate the physicists because they the ones who teaching this in the schools. But see what globalists will do, they will go making up their own model on the fly freestyling when you start pointing out and debunking it. But I'm just pointing that out. So this first argument was, I'll actually just rewind this and you can be able to hear it yourself and we'll just view it again. So here we go, Rod.
Well, our ancestors didn't believe the Earth was moving either. To them, the Earth felt solid, stable, central. And every day, they saw the sun rise in the east, sweep across the sky, and set in the west. The conclusion seemed obvious. The sun moves, and the Earth stays still. Case closed. But here's the thing. That conclusion wasn't stupid. It was intuitive. It looked that way. Now, there's a story I've always loved, often attributed to the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, though probably apocryphal in nature. Apparently he was walking through the corridors of Cambridge when he turned to a friend and asked, "Why did people once believe the sun goes round the Earth?" The friend replied, "Because it looks that way." To which Wittgenstein responded, "Yes, but what would it have looked like if it looked as though the Earth were rotating?" It's a brilliant little puzzle, because visually it would look exactly the same. The experience of a moving sun from a stationary Earth is indistinguishable from the experience of a stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth.
Now, did you hear that? You hear that, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
So the way that we experience the sunrise and sunset, it would be the same on a stationary Earth with the sky in motion as it would be on an Earth that's moving with the sun stationary. So we get that, right? Now, the problem with that argument is that the current model of the globe don't have a stationary sun. Can we both agree with that?
Yeah.
So you see the problem on how what a lot of these physicists have to go back and borrow from old models to make the argument.
Wait. Can you go back and can you repeat what you just said?
I said, do you see that there's a problem with physicists having to go back and borrow from their old models?
You said the sun isn't stationary?
Okay, so all right, so let me break this down to you. This is a physics channel. And what they're saying is that the way flat earthers, what the physics channel is saying is that the way we observe the sun will look the same if you was on a flat earth or a globe earth. But the specifics is this. I agree with that, but here go the only thing about the globe earth. In order for it to work on a globe earth, the sun can't be moving. The sun got to be stationary. That's the point that I'm making. That's even what the physicist just said out of his mouth.
So are we not moving along with the sun?
Right, and that's why I'm telling you that the way that we observe the sky, it doesn't make sense on the current globe model with a moving sun. It only makes sense on y'all's old model with a stationary sun. You see the problem here?
So you're saying that the globe theory only works if the sun isn't moving?
Right, and that ain't what I'm just saying. This is from a physics channel. That's why I keep repeating this throughout the show. This is from a physics channel, and I'll replay this for you too, so you can hear it from his mouth. It ain't that what Sanchez is saying. This is what your physicists teach. So remember, I'm arguing against what the physicists teach, because I want to go straight to the source. I don't want to play with it. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
Right, so let's hear it again from his mouth so we both can hear it right now that we know what's going on.
Well, our ancestors didn't believe the Earth was moving either. To them, the Earth felt solid, stable, central. And every day, they saw the sun rise in the east, sweep across the sky, and set in the...
Let me skip to the part where he said that, just so we can save time. Here we go.
Usually, it would look exactly the same.
Okay.
Why did people once believe the sun goes round the Earth? The friend replied, because it looks that way. To which Wittgenstein responded, yes, but what would it have looked like if it looked as though the Earth were rotating? It's a brilliant little puzzle, because visually it would look exactly the same. The experience of a moving sun from a stationary Earth is indistinguishable from the experience of a stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth.
Did you hear that? A stationary sun. Did you hear those words?
I think
not what you think. What did you hear? Right? We got to start, because I don't want to, what I want to do today, right? I want to be very clear on how debates work. A physicist makes a claim, and then I go and challenge the claim. I ain't letting people on to really, go into what they think. I want to ask a simple question now. Did you hear what he said?
Can I reiterate what I heard?
The question, what I'm asking is, did you hear him say stationary sun? Because I'm trying to get to the next point.
Yes, for the flat Earth.
No, that's not. Okay, let me play it again. No, you gotta listen.
From the experience of a stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth.
A stationary sun seen from a rotating Earth. The flat Earth don't rotate. So let me explain to you the two different arguments. In order for us to observe the sunrise and sunset like we do every day, if we're on a globe and the globe is spinning, the sun can't be moving. It got to be stationary. He's right. But there's a problem with that, though. And that's the whole point. And I think that you don't really want to acknowledge what I'm presenting here, which I think is just quite,
My bad. I didn't hear him say stationary sun until just now. My bad.
Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not trying to, be hard on you or nothing. I just want to be clear. But you can take the mic from me and speak as long as you want if there's something you want to say before I move to the next point.
No, you keep going.
And thank you for being here, Rod, man. At any point, I'll pause it for you and you can. So the point number one, guys, they can only make the sunrise and sunset work on the old heliocentric model with a stationary sun, so they got to borrow from their old model. The problem is these two models contradict themselves on the nature of what the sun is doing in the sky. If your old model say the sun ain't moving, but your new one say the sun is moving, but see, on your old model, you was able to make sense out of sunrises and sunsets, but y'all had to put your sun in motion because you can't have a sitting still sun in an expanding universe. You feel me, Rod?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have your sun being still while everything else in the universe is expanding. So they had to come with the new moving sun, and they couldn't give it no random pattern. They had to give it this complex pattern. We'll get into that later, but The whole
But we're
thing of
moving as
go ahead. Go ahead.
we're all floating. The planet is floating along with the sun as
Right.
we're around it.
Yeah, I can show you a little example of what it looked like too. For while you, the difference between the two. The old one is over there, and the new one is on the right there. But you know, you got to think about that complex model that we see here on the right. Right on the right, you telling me that you're getting a perfect DNA strand, a double helix from a random Big Bang explosion. So you're getting these perfect patterns and synchronicities, and look at how intricate these things is moving. We can predict the motion, and you telling me that come from a random Big Bang explosion? See, when you
Yes.
use Occam's razor, it's easy to debunk this because I'm gonna tell you what the most intelligent answer would be. The most intelligent answer would be, guess what, y'all? The Earth is a created place made by something more intelligent than us, and that's why we see these perfect patterns. Ain't no way, because I'm gonna show you some, brother, what they got you believing in real quick. Watch this, and then I'll get to my next argument. We're taking our time. We got to be thorough, show y'all that we ain't crazy, man. So this is what they give you for how your universe started. That was an explosion of light, right? And from the explosion of light, you somehow get oceans, wood, trees, dirt, and all that just from light, but we ain't gonna even go there, right? Let's deal with this fact. So the light exploded, we get all the elements and everything, right? From a random, just look at these irregular shapes, like dropping a vase on the ground. But you get a perfect sphere from that? You telling me if I drop a vase on the ground, I'm gonna get a perfect circle like the sun and moon? Now you're gonna drop a vase on the ground, and guess what else you're gonna get? Let me show y'all this. What's so stupid about it? Imagine dropping a vase on the ground and making all of the shards forming perfect 360-degree concentric circles that we can predict every damn age. Now imagine getting this much order from that chaos. And you try to reduplicate this in any point in physics today, and you'll see it's bull crap. Earth is way more intricate than what we've been looking at it as. And there's no way you're gonna get perfect 360-degree circles from this crap. In fact, they didn't even give you perfect 360-degree circles when they gave you this example. But let me get back to the video and just show you some of the things why I feel like the flat earth is winning. If you want to interject, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So, for one, I don't believe that anything is just stationary and doesn't move. I believe that energy is motion, and even like my dresser right here is gonna deteriorate over time, even though it doesn't move. So, in the sense, it still is moving because it's going to deteriorate and it's going to fall and age. And then
your dresser is still moving because it's gonna deteriorate.
Yeah, like
okay, brother. Go ahead. I mean, I never heard that one before. That's interesting, but yeah, go ahead.
If you think my dresser is gonna be here in a billion years, then
no. What I'm saying is comparing your dresser to a planet that's moving over 100,000 miles per hour, more than the speed of sound, and then comparing that to deterioration and decomposition, it's a huge stretch. But go ahead, brother.
Like, how can you get like a perfect sphere of an Earth? Well, from my knowledge, the Earth isn't a perfect sphere, but it's pretty close. I mean, I guess it looks kind of like it, but still, though, it's like the Earth is like 4.5 billion years old. So,
says who?
Science.
And who's science?
I mean, it's a collective thing. Is like, I mean, I don't.
Let me ask you something. Is it right just because a Christian say the Bible said it? The Bible said it because you're in a religion, brother. You believe science. You replace the word God with science, And right, you do like the Christian. You say, well, science said it, but they didn't prove nothing. Okay, they said it. Now it's time to get to the proving part and see who's really proving what they saying.
Okay, so this is how I like move along with life. So I do go to history and to ancient texts and ancient knowledge, and then I interpret it the way I interpret it. If I want to believe it, I believe it. If I want to use it, I want to use it. If I remember it, I remember it. And then you come across people that's like, nah, that's all a lie. And then you're like, okay, let me hear what you got to say. And then that's kind of where I'm at with it. So like, if you say something, okay, cool. Like, let me see if I
Okay,
can.
and you know what? I just want to say, brother, you are one of the best callers I've had in a while because you got good energy. You're not really up here on no combative energy. You have an open mind, but you ain't really quick to bite at what I'm saying, which lets me know you're genuine. You know what I'm saying? That you still, you know what I mean? So I rock with it. Y'all drop fireballs for this brother, man. He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job representing for the globe earthers, character and decorum, because we get a lot of globe earthers, man. They come up here, bro, and they really be in their feelings, man. But yeah, you know, I know one thing about this. I was a globe earther, so when I was introduced to a lot of this stuff, it was shocking. Like, I had the same reactions that y'all having. Is very predictable. But let me go ahead and just keep breaking this thing down and show all of the flaws with the globe model, because I've already presented one so far, which is the shape-shifting argument, that you can't go to your stationary sun model to make an argument because your sun is in motion now. Now, let's go ahead and go to his next argument. I timestamped this thing. That's how you know I ain't playing. Chips. So we have to go into some of the discrepancies with their claims. Step 3 in the scientific method, the hypothesis.
What you're feeling isn't motion in space.
Make most sense.
When you open your front door and step outside, you don't get hit in the face by rushing air. There's no strange sensation of spinning or flying through space. And yet, when you're in motion, you often do feel something. When you run or cycle, you feel wind resistance pushing against your skin. Stick your head out of a car window and the air rushes past your face. But what you're feeling isn't motion itself, it's the force of the air hitting you, caused by your motion relative to the atmosphere.
I want y'all to understand the absurdity of what is being said and think about Occam's razor. I mean, really just think about which answer is the most absurd. He's saying that when you're driving down the highway and feel the wind hitting your face, it isn't motion itself, it's the force of the air hitting you. Duh. Now, if you need to be taught that, then you probably just slow. Here's the part where it becomes real absurd. We know we're not feeling motion itself. We know that as we move through a medium, just like a fish swimming through water, the friction of the water passing around the fish body, through its gills even, will get more intense the faster that the fish swim. So he's saying that the lady hair is blowing in the wind when she driving down the highway, Rod, because the earth spin from west to east and she driving from east to west, but he don't know which way she driving. Wouldn't you agree with me that that's a dumb argument, Rod, from a physics channel? Even I know you're a globe earther, but can you just take a minute and sink that in, brother? He said that if a woman is driving in her car and she's driving in the same direction that the earth is spinning, her hair won't blow in the wind because she going with the grain. Rod, tell me that ain't bananas.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And this is the argument that physicists are making. I'm not making these arguments. Let's play. Just like the wind coming inside of your car window get more louder and intense. And the truth about it, it don't matter which direction her car driving, her hair gonna blow in the wind. But globalists will take this because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to admit we've been lied to. Check it out, right? The crazy thing is this. The reason her hair blowing in the wind is because we're within a medium, just like fish in the water. If you ever see jellyfish zip through the water or an octopus zip through the water, their tentacles fly back just like this woman's hair. Don't it, Rod? Is
Yes.
because they're moving through a medium. It's that simple. See, in Occam's razor, it's the simple choice, not the complicated one that have you like, wow, that's bananas. So you're telling me her hair's blowing in the wind because she going against the earth rotation? How you know which way she driving? Okay, let's play the video. The faster that you speed the car up, we're within a medium. And when you be perfectly still, you feel nothing. When you move through this medium, there's a slight bit of resistance. And depending on how fast you're moving through this medium will dictate how strong the force of the air is that is hitting you. Simply put. Now, here's the part that gets quite absurd. The absurd part is when he say that this is caused by your motion relative to the atmosphere. And what he's saying here is this is determined by which way you're going. So if the earth is spinning from east to west and you're driving down a highway from west to east, he's saying the force would be relative to your position. Because in the globe model, the atmosphere and the ground are synced together and they supposed to turn together, which we're going to talk about that more later. But let's just zoom in on this first point. Basically, what he's saying is that it's mostly related to your position and which direction you're traveling in relation to the Earth's atmosphere. So if you're going against the grain, so to speak, or against the current, then this force would be stronger. So he's literally counting for the Earth's rotation when it comes to you driving down a highway in your car, and you don't think that's absurd. If a person driving their car from north to south, then the force of the wind will be exactly the same as if they was driving from east to west. And I'm gonna tell you something. If a person driving from south to north, like what the car doing right now, right? Guess what? The woman hair would only blow to the left. Tell me I'm lying, Rod. They got the atmosphere synced with the ground. If she driving from south to north, all women hair should only blow to the left, to the left. All the bitches hair to the blow to the left. What's up, Darren Gay?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Salutes, man.
I salute to you, brother. Don't mind my accent. I'm calling from Britain, but I would say that I'm kind of a flat earther, but I do have some questions about it. And I've been like dying to ask you what your opinion is on meteorites. You know, what's your explanation for?
Well, today we
meteorite?
all about rotation and spin, but thank you for bringing up meteorites because I will do a stream just on those. But here's what I'll tell you in a nutshell. We never see meteorites come from up on the horizon line. You know what I mean? Like up from the ground up from the horizon line. If we're on the right
in a straight line.
Right. And they suggest that everything is a plane and that they're on their own dimensional plane that they're streaking across. You see what I'm saying? So let me just show you what I mean if I'm using too many big words. Check this out. I'm going to pull up an image of like a shooting star or something like that. And I'm going to show you what we're looking at. It tell you in the book of Revelation, old men will see visions, young men dream dreams, all this stuff. It's common sense what I'm about to show. We're going to look at this right here. And let's go to this. So let's imagine, Rod S., that we are crabs at the bottom of this ocean. Can you imagine that with me?
Yeah.
All right, so when we look up at the sky and see all that blue, it's because we're at the bottom of an ocean ourselves in our own little medium. And what I'm telling you is that if you were a fish at the bottom of the ocean and you were looking up at a boat wake, right? If you were a fish at the bottom of the ocean, and from your perspective as a fish at the bottom of the ocean, you looking up seeing this fast ass boat just zip by your field of perspective, right? And this is what's going on a cosmic level with whatever these objects are, and they are holographic projectiles that that have tails to suggest that they're moving through a medium that's similar to water. And this is why the ancestors said that about the waters above and the waters below, because there are layers of the atmosphere where the nature of reality start to get less dense and we start to see holographic technology. Yep, I said it, technology. A lot of these phenomena ain't just no simple star that was flung from a big bang. We are in a holographic construct, some sort of holospheric simulation, and they don't want us to know about it. But this is one thing, I can't tell you everything about comets. That'll, be egotistical. But what I can share with you is that they do prove that we're at the bottom of some sort of type ocean. And when we look up at the blue sky, it's because we're like fish in the ocean, but we're at the bottom and we're looking up at a lot of activity that's taking place above the surface of this water, and this would be what they call space. It'll be like a crab from the bottom of this ocean coming up the resurface and look at this whole other world above the surface. And there's different layers and layers that get less dense and less dense as we move up, and there is life form and activity there that's human-like, and it has nothing to do with green men from other planets. This is spiritual. This is like ancient technology, like Babylon, Egyptian stuff, but we can get into all that. That ain't really relevant to, I just wanted to give you a brief rundown on that, of how we see them. But let's continue to debunk rotation.
All right, bro, thanks.
Yeah, we got to stay on topic for this one because we on a mission.
Caused by forces acting on our body, especially when those forces act unevenly.
So this is where we were. Here, hey man, don't get mad at me. This is the argument physics. So physics explained is saying the woman hair is blowing in the wind because she going in the opposite direction of the earth rotation. And I'm going to hit play and let y'all hear this. Explain is making. And if you think I'm lying, he's about to double down on it. So the earth rotates from west to east. And let's say that somebody is driving down the highway and they traveling in the same direction that the earth is rotating. What he's saying is that the force of wind that they would feel if they rolled a window down on the highway would be almost none. But train. Right. Duh, because you're inside of a train. So look on the surface of the so to make his argument right, because remember now, he said that if the woman is driving in the opposite direction of the earth, her hair gonna blow. So guess what that mean, Rod? That mean if she driving in the same direction with the earth, her hair shouldn't blow. And guess what, Rod? That's exactly what he said. He said if she's driving with the same direction of the earth, her hair won't blow. But guess what he used to make the argument, Rod? He said, check this train out. This train is traveling in the same direction of the earth and no one hair is blowing. Rod, can you tell me why no one hair is blowing in this train, Rod? Can you do it, Rod?
Yeah, because they're sitting inside of the train, so.
Right. I mean, good job. I gotta get you involved, man, because I just want to make sure I'm not going crazy. Thank you, Rod.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
And it's just physicists know that they can pass this off on people, because really it ain't about proving the globe. It's about ridiculing the people who don't believe in it and using this cult-like tactics to shame and make them look stupid, when really, man, just like Nostradamus said, in the last days, why the charlatans and wise man will be praised by the world, while the truth tellers are punished. But let's play the video so y'all can hear it from his mouth.
Air hitting you, caused by your motion relative to the atmosphere. If the air moves with you, like inside a sealed train gliding along at high speed, you feel nothing at all. No wind, no push, no resistance.
Wow.
You could be travelling at 200 miles an hour, and if everything around you is moving with you...
Oh, wow. So what he's saying is if a woman was sitting on top of the train, her hair wouldn't blow. That's what he's saying. See, he think we stupid. In order for him to make the argument that the hair ain't gonna blow if she moving in the same direction of the earth, he got to put her inside of a train But he just put Jim Carrey head outside of a car to show us what it'll look like if you're going against the earth. See the deception?
You won't feel any difference than if you were standing still.
You know why? Because you're in a sealed, enclosed train, no different than that. And people won't deal with these arguments we're making. They'll say stuff like, you don't understand physics. This is crazy. They'll even get mad. Like, why you mad at science, bro? Damn, like, that's crazy. But yeah, airplane. People, are we really this slow? We in trouble, man. Really? So you telling me if a person stick their head out the window of this train, they won't feel any wind resistance? Nope. Because they going in the same direction of the earth. Now, he gonna say, yeah, they would feel it because you got to close the train up, right? So the hair ain't blowing because they going in the same direction of the earth. It's blowing because they inside of a train. And listen, when I saw this video, I said, a world so dumbed down, I want to stop telling people the earth is flat. It ain't gonna do nothing but get me ridiculed. It's gonna make me lose a lot of friendships. And guess what? I'm gonna be honest, it don't pay like that, right? So I can move on to just giving people spiritual enlightenment. And the people who want the flat earth, man, we gonna probably put that, this is crazy because I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. The world's so dumbed down, y'all. It don't matter how simple you break it down to them. You only gonna end up triggering people. And it don't matter how calm you are. They gonna be the first to come with the insult. Go read a damn physics book. I'm gonna show you some of the comments in a minute, but let's debunk this nonsense. Because the argument that he's making isn't that, well, they're not feeling. Whoever said this is not an important issue to you, that should all, every time you make statements like that, you should put the words to you behind it. You can't speak for everybody. If you're an astrophysicist, this is an important issue. If you're a science teacher, a physicist teacher, if you're a cosmologist, right? If you're an astrologer, this is an important issue to a lot of people who it's concerned. But see, that's when I say mind your business though, because I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what's going on in the math department right now with math scholars and all that, because I deal with space, I deal with earth and cosmology. So it's important to me because my field is cosmology, but I tell you what ain't important to me, hockey. But I would never go to a hockey channel and say, this ain't an important issue. You see what I'm saying? In wind resistance simply because they're in, what's good, Sir Drop and Rod? What's good? What's good, Rod?
I was gonna say, is there like a more reputable source? Because I believe that both sides would probably argue that the claims that he's making is kind of off. Right. It doesn't make.
Right. So, no, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Here's what you got to realize, man. He's making the correct argument that physics make. You can check this on ChatGPT, Google. If you went to school, he's not lying. I can even show you an animation of the model real quick. And you can see it's always been taught that the sky is synced with the ground. And if it's not, then guess what, Rod? That debunks the globe then. Because guess what they say? They say when a flat earther say, all right, let me put this animation up so I can show you why the globalists teach that. You can't undo that. Let me show you why. When a flat earther say, if the earth is spinning, how come this hot air balloon can get off the ground and drop back down in the exact same spot? You know what the physicists teach, Rod? They teach because the sky and the ground are moving together. You see what's going on here? Do you see this right here, Rod?
So if the air balloon is not protruding in any direction or any it's obviously moving, since it's going with the wind a little bit.
No. That's what I'm telling you. You can't. Okay, they do hot air balloons in my city every now and then. You lock them in position, they don't move an inch, dude. These things, they stay there hovering, just like them helicopters we see in the sky. They stay in one position, just like I've seen bumblebees, hummingbirds do it, bro. Do you go outside? If you look at that little hummingbird, it's hovering to get that nectar out that leaf while the earth's supposed to be spinning beneath it. That's what I'm telling you. If you ask a physicist why the hummingbird can drop back in the same spot, he will say because he's moving in unison with the atmosphere. And what I want to point out is that globe earthers, y'all got to also kind of, learn your model a little bit, because listen, we got Chat GPT now. They'll even teach you that there. So as I debunk the model, I also often have to teach it to people how it works. So when people like to say to flat earthers, you don't understand physics, you don't understand. Not only do I understand your model, I'm so confident with I can teach a whole lecture about the globe. In order for me to go against this model, I got to know it like the back of my hand, or I'm going to embarrass myself. I got to know what I'm talking about. I know more about this model than most globe earthers, man, that I debate. But just to throw that into your repertoire, your atmosphere and your ground is synced together, and this is how they answer a lot of arguments that we make as far as hovering above the earth. You get what I'm saying?
Well, so and I'm thinking like, so if I'm sitting in a swimming pool and I'm treading water, decide to like drop down and stop treading water, like I'm gonna land in the same spot, kind of relatively close.
Well, I get your swimming pool example. Any other example that you make other than what they teach about your model would be inaccurate, because I ain't giving no examples. I'm dealing with the direct statements that are taught in colleges and school by physicists about the atmosphere and the earth being in synchronicity. Matter of fact, let me just give you a little Chat GPT. It's the Earth's atmosphere and ground rotating together. You see what it says? Yes. Earth's atmosphere and ground rotate together. This is due to the concept called conservation of angular momentum. But again, all you got to do is look at the animation that they give you and look at it. You can see that the atmosphere is turning with the ground. It's not my animation, it's what they teaching about. See, the thing about what happens, and it's totally natural, Rod, this is your first time really with your adult mind being confronted with the bull crap you was taught in school. Because guess what, Rod? You took a test about all of this when you was a child, and guess what, Rod? You passed it. Did you make it out of high school, man?
I did.
So you took a test on all this, but guess what? In your adult life, you don't got to really use it. So you just kind of go to work and, hey, I took science, I passed, and, well, ain't no need to question it. So what happens, Rod, just like what happened to me, I thought the same thing. There was no need to question it. Like, I learned, okay, the earth, the ground, and the sky rotate together. That was in school. And a lot of globalists will tell you, man, go back to 6th grade science. This is elementary. That's what they tell us. And I have to tell them, we went back to 6th grade science and we re-questioned it, and we can tell you now it's bull crap, But a lot of them never went back and confronted this stuff. But now you're saying it and you're like, wow, I actually was taught this, and even your adult mind is like challenging it without even trying to. Now, it can't help but do it. It's natural. And I can tell that that's what's happening to you, Rod. I can feel it.
And if everything's spinning together, there would never be a nighttime and daytime. If it's all together, it's stuck together. That means no matter where you at, the clouds and the atmosphere is spinning with the earth. You should never see another day, no matter where you standing at, because you're spinning with it.
Come on, man.
Now
Talk to him.
They will have to say something that's spinning faster at this point. You know what I'm saying? But It's common sense that they want to neglect and then call us stupid for using it. And that's the part I don't like about globe earthers. I feel they're intelligent people, but stuck on stupid because they articulate, they make it sound good, and then you break it down and say, you know what you just said? That don't make no sense. And they be
Okay.
like, well, I said it articulately.
Now,
So,
And it's
now,
like,
can I interject on that?
and Rod, after you interject, I'm gonna point out some more stuff with this physics explained video. But yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So I looked it up, and the atmosphere.
You're gonna repeat to us what I told you I can teach a whole lecture on this, man.
Okay, so the atmosphere closer to the surface of the Earth rotates with the Earth, like at the same speed. So I guess the higher you go,
Yeah, that's
more.
what I just said, though, brother.
No, what he said, like if we shouldn't experience night or day if it's all moving at the same rate. But the closer you get to,
no, I said they was gonna have to change the speeds of the atmosphere to make it fix their Rubik's Cube. That's what I said. And that's exactly what they did, but that ain't what they've been saying until we pointed it out. Now the atmosphere is spinning this fast up here, but this slow down here.
Right. And you know the thing about that also debunks their model, because guess what? You know that they got it just debunks their model, because if you look at the model just for the animation, they only giving you one layer of the atmosphere going in the same direction, and that's conveniently so they can explain like how hot air balloons land in the same spot, while when I jump, right, I land in the same spot. Let me show you how absurd it is, right? Everything that gets off the ground, right, it will land back in the same spot because Earth atmosphere is synced. So we don't, here go the thing about your argument, Rod. Here go the thing about your argument. We don't need the upper layers of the atmosphere to be in synchronicity. It don't change nothing, because the argument that I'm making here is only dealing with the first layer of the atmosphere, because I can't jump up to the exosphere. If I'm debating a globe earther and I say, man, how come when I jump, I land back in the same spot, right? And they say it's because the earth is pushing you forward with the atmosphere. But another globe earther come along and try to say, but you know the upper layers of the atmosphere move at different speeds. That's irrelevant because I'm not jumping up there. We making an argument in the first layer, unless you thinking I can jump way up there. So that would still be irrelevant and pointless to even bring up. The argument is based on the first layer of that I'm jumping in, that the hot air balloon ain't floating way up to the atmosphere, way up to the exosphere. So I'm asking you about the first layer. We ain't got to talk about the other ones. I'm talking about what it's doing on the first one, right?
If you ever climbed a mountain and you get to the top of the mountain, the winds are more stronger.
That's not what we ain't talking about. Strong wind. Don't you understand that the wind is an element that exists within your atmosphere?
Exactly.
Right. So what I'm telling you is, if you're making an argument that the wind move at different speeds on different levels, it's irrelevant to keep bringing that up when a flat earther is asking you something simple as, how come, right, when this boy, watch what he do with the bottle. How did the bottle land where if the earth's spinning beneath him, just simple stuff like that. This is my thing, right? If the hot air balloon is landing in the same spot, we're only dealing with this first layer of the atmosphere. Planes is still in this same layer. All I'm telling you is, wind has nothing to do with what we talking about, with what physicists are saying about the atmosphere being synced. And this is what they say. They will say, listen, Sanchez, wind patterns can move locally and independent of the uniform Earth atmosphere. This is what your physicists teach. So when we talk about wind patterns, that ain't the argument I'm making, brother. I'm in Nevada right now. I wish some wind would blow right now. That's how hot it is. So when I'm jumping outside, the wind ain't blowing me forward. The physicists are saying that the Earth atmosphere is synced with the ground, and that is why when I get off the ground, I'm moving still the same direction of the Earth at the same speed because I'm still within the atmosphere that's synced with the ground. Like, this is so easy to understand. It's so easy to understand. So it's like you're bringing up a lot of stuff that's you're not really dealing with my argument on why I'm landing back in the same spot. You're talking about wind patterns like we having a meteorology weather debate. The wind pattern just wasn't so good one day that is good every day that is blowing me back in the perfect spot. Like, we can't blame that on wind patterns because that mean the wind just keep blowing me for some reason back in the exact same spot. Man, that's some smart wind. You feel me? So they ain't saying that the wind is doing that to me. They're saying that the atmosphere and the ground is synced together.
And like you said a couple months ago, I had posed a question where I asked a question, and it was like, yeah, well, like when you in the car, you moving with the car, and then the answer to the question you gave was stand on top of the car and jump. Because they said we on top of the earth. That's what you said. They said we on top of the globe. So if I jump, I'm not inside the earth. I'm on top of it. Now, if they said we was inside of it, then they would have a relevant statement. But go ahead.
We are inside the earth.
Okay,
What's up,
so
bro,
let me say something real quick, Rod. All of my life, and even in this physics video, the man said that us humans, which live on the Earth's surface, and I only hear physicists say that we live on the surface of the Earth. Now you telling me we live under the ground or something inside? Let me ask you something. Isn't the inside of the Earth going toward the core under the ground?
No.
So you see what's going on, y'all.
Can I respond?
Under the atmospheres.
We live inside the Earth's atmosphere.
Right,
So,
but that don't mean you live inside the Earth. Like, these are two different things. He trying to make them the same.
That's why I said Earth's atmosphere.
Right, thank you.
You're trying to make them one.
No, that's what you're trying to do, man.
It is one.
No, what I'm telling you is that we don't live inside the Earth. We live inside the Earth's atmosphere.
Exactly.
So my whole thing is this right here. It's the Earth's atmosphere composed of gases, yes or no?
Yes.
Tell me how gases can serve as an enclosure to the vacuum of space. And tell me what is the last layer of gas that's at the outer edge of the Earth. Since there's so many layers of the atmosphere, we want to know what they teach in your physics about the last layer that's interacting with the vacuum of space. What gas is that, and what keeps it from flying off into space like the gas is on a comet tail? Let's go.
Gravity and pressure. Keep it in place.
It's the isn't it the exosphere?
Now, guess what he just said, y'all? He said gravity keeps the atmosphere from flying off into space. Now, watch this, y'all. Check this out, right? I'm going to show y'all how globalists be making arguments that allow them to double talk. Now, this is from my Facebook, right? Watch what the globalists told me on here when I put out my video about the clouds, right? When I put out my video about if the Earth's atmosphere and the ground is synced together, why do the clouds pass me by, right? Guess what the globalists told me? The globalists told me because, no, I'm going to tell you what they told me. You weren't there, and you can tell me what you think. But what they told me on these posts was that, Sanchez, the clouds move independently of the Earth's atmosphere. So if the clouds can move independently, they're somehow breaking this gravitational pull that you said. Because when people telling me stuff like, Sanchez, what dude said the clouds ain't part of the Earth, and I had to tell him, bro, if the clouds ain't part of the Earth, they would fly off into space. Some gotta be keeping them attached to it. That's what I'm telling. So I'm telling you,
you're right. They are part of the Earth, though. They are part of the Earth.
And I'm gonna show you these. So you would agree that those globalists that was making that argument, they would be wrong.
Oh, I don't know what they're. I don't know. Their argument that the clouds move because the wind speeds are different at different elevations. So the higher you go, the thinner the air, the more wind there's. You know what I'm saying? It's a real simple concept. Clouds are just gaseous water, and they get blown around.
No, that I think you're missing a point. I think you're missing a point. What we see on a globe model, let's go back to it. Can't you see the clouds moving with the ground?
The clouds move at all different speeds. Not all clouds move the same.
So can we admit that this animation ain't really 100% accurate?
Not many things move at the speed of the ground because the ground is barely moving. It moves.
Oh no, I'm talking about the accuracy of this model. If I was teaching this to a child, I would have to note that, hey, children, I know this model show all of the clouds moving in synchronicity with the earth, but that's not always the case. So don't take this model all the way 100%. Wouldn't that be safe to do?
No, because first of all, no one says that.
Okay,
no one
I'm confused. I'm confused.
No one says the clouds move in synchronicity.
But guess what? I'm playing a video now where I'm debating a physics channel that's saying that. I don't know when you showed up. Were you able to see the first part of the video?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I came here to make a comment about that, actually.
Okay.
So can I make a comment about the original thing you put up?
Okay, so if you watch the whole video, because I've been uploaded this, I'm not making see, this is my thing about globe earthers. They will say no one's saying that, and I'm like, well, who the hell am I debating? Like, I wouldn't have even made the video and made the rebuttal on it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not generalizing. I'm playing a dude's video and responding to it. You're generalizing when you say no one's saying that because you can't speak for no one when I'm showing a dude that's saying it. Now, let me get back to the video, man. And you need to pay attention if you're going to interject, man, and see what's being said so you can be, part of the conversation.
Yeah, I've told you.
All right, let's play it then. Salutes then. Welcome back. Let's get it. Person stick their head out the window of this train, they won't feel any wind resistance. Because the argument that he's making, like, I don't make the argument that the clouds move in unison with the ground. This is what they show in their animation here and what their physicists teach. You can look this up, bro. They tell you that all of the clouds is moving with the Earth's rotation, but they still can have independent patterns and local patterns of their own. But they said for the most part, everything is like a hurricane in the ocean. The hurricane is still moving with the natural flow of the ocean, even though it's doing its own little thing. That's how they explaining this thing, like no different than a tornado within the atmosphere can go where it want to go. Ben Conner's turn here, it ain't doing what the Earth doing. But the physicists explain this by saying that there can be local weather events that do their own, local activities in unison still with the Earth's rotation while they doing that over a certain area.
Yeah. A tornado's path is random once it hits the ground, but it's not like it can go anywhere other than where it's at because it has those conditions there to create the tornado itself. So I
wasn't really trying to go into how, you can, that's all deflection. The point is how the atmosphere works. We know that a tornado, when it hit the ground, is landing. The thing is, they can predict exactly where it's going to land at when it's forming if the Earth is moving like that. That'll be a hell of a prediction. But check this out, though. I'm not asking that for you to say anything because you prolonging the video. But the thing is this. I just taught you how weather work on a globe. If there's a storm over a certain area or certain city over this globe, it's going to stay in that city because that storm within the atmosphere and the atmosphere is synced with the ground. So if there's a tornado in Fairfield, Alabama, if there's a tornado in Fairfield, Alabama, right, the tornado can do whatever it wants while still moving with the atmosphere. This is what's being taught. All you got to do is chat GPT it. That's all you got to do. Like, my thing about debating globalists is having to teach them their model as you go. It's frustrating. What's his name? Rob Notches don't know how weather work on the globe. He think that tornadoes and all that can just break away and be independent of the Earth's atmospheric synchronicity and spin. When his physicists don't teach that weather events are breaking away from Earth's rotation and nothing like that. It's teaching that they are performing within it. That's what it teach. So if you had a bunch of people on little bitty boats doing a little bitty boat show, like how the pilots do the air show, and they had a synchronized boat show, but let's say they boats was in a big old lazy river. All of those boats will go round and round in a circle and follow the path of the lazy river while doing their little dance synchronicity. Did everybody see what I'm saying? Does anyone have any problem with what I'm saying before I move on, or would like to challenge it or correct it? Cool. Okay, so that means we on point here. And make sure y'all hit the like and share button. Let's move on with it. Isn't that, well, they're not feeling any wind resistance. Hold on, let's skip forward because I want to get to the next part of this too. Right? I want to get to the next part of this as well. Like, they try to play dumb like they don't understand a model when you go to debunking it. Let me see, where is the next part of this? Okay. Around about, okay, let's go to, hold on a second. I'm gonna play the smoke plumes video real quick, and then we're gonna talk about this argument. If the atmosphere and the ground is synced together, and they both are going in the same direction, which is west to east, then this smoke plume should have a trail that's going from east to west, just like this train. This train is moving from left to right from our perspective. But the smoke plume that is leaving behind is leaving a trail from right to left. So if the Earth was rotating from west to east, then these smoke plumes wouldn't be going straight up in a straight line. And we have a picture of a train on the left to show you that when smoke is ascending from a moving object, it will leave a trail. Right, no doubt about it. Now, when globalists tell us, right, that we can't see the spin because the Earth moving slow from our perspective, because no one is teaching that the Earth is moving slow. That ain't what they teach. They teach that the Earth is moving slow from our perspective, but they say that it's actually moving at faster than sound, which is over 1,000 miles per hour. So physicists are very clear that the Earth is spinning fast and you don't even feel it. Why? Because from your perspective on a big ball, 1,000 miles per hour don't feel like 1,000 miles per hour. But see, remember that we're dealing with a key word called perspective. Remember something about the human perspective. Our perspective don't change reality. Meaning this, Rod, listen so you can hear what I'm saying. Our perspective don't change reality. So just because I perceive that I'm not spinning, that's one thing. When you say, well, I can't see the spin, that's another thing, because smoke on a fast moving surface will leave a trail like this train. Now, when they say, but the Earth is moving fast based on your perception, my perception don't change how smoke behave. I'm not a magician. Okay, I don't feel the Earth moving because it's so big. That don't mean that it ain't moving fast, and smoke ascending from a fast moving object will leave a trail. Just because I perceive the Earth not to be moving don't mean that it ain't moving fast, according to physicists. That means that my perception don't change reality. So my perception shouldn't change the fact that this smoke should have a trail. Like my perception don't change. That like if you see a road mirage, you perceive it as a puddle of water. But just because you perceive a road mirage as a puddle of water ain't gonna all of a sudden make it water. So my perception don't change the facts. And this is one of those arguments that you can't use perception on, because my perception don't change the way smoke behave on fast moving surfaces. Now you can use that to explain why I don't feel it moving, but you can't use that to explain away this smoke plume, which is what they try to do.
Sanchez, one thing that I would like you to point out is that many people think that when you run on top of the train, you're not going to fall. But that train is going straight. As soon as it takes a curve, like the Earth is supposedly doing, you're going to roll to the floor. And they don't want to point that out.
Can I interject on the smoke?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Rod.
Okay. So the smoke does have a tail on both pictures. So the smoke's behavior, let's paint a picture of why the picture on the right looks that way. So I'm assuming that there's an explosion for that smoke to be to occur like that. So
now watch this. Let me ask you. Go ahead.
So
you assuming though, but go ahead.
Yeah, the winds are going or more stronger from the direction where the tail is starting. So it's pushing up, and then there's winds that's pushing down, which is gravity. So that is going to combat that, and it's going to expand, and you know what I mean? So
no, I don't know what you mean, because you assuming, and when you do that, you make an ass out of you and me. Now you gotta.
Can I go on the picture on the left, because it's kind of the same thing. So the train is moving faster than the winds that's hitting it right now. So that's why
the train ain't. Here's what you gotta realize, right? It's all about the tail. That's what you want to pay attention to. What we want to point out in this argument, bro, what you're not dealing with is how smoke behave on moving surfaces. You need to read the collage and study it. Quit assuming, right? And let's look at how smoke behave. If I'm sitting on top of a train and I light a cigarette, the smoke ain't gonna go straight up. So when you talk about an explosion happening, that means, brother, let me, brother, stop. I've done this before. The smoke don't go straight up. Now you can't create your own physics here. And we're all wise enough to know how smoke behave. Even if you're just walking with a cigarette, you're going to leave a trail from where you started walking when you lit it, and we can follow that trail to what room you're in. It's just not going to hover straight up over your damn cigarette and go with you in a straight line. So smoke, oh my God, are you telling me I'm wrong about this right here? That if I'm walking with a cigarette, I'm not going to leave a smoke trail, man?
That's why I said that. That's why I painted a picture of an explosion happening. So when you see
I'm trying to explain to you that lighting a cigarette is an explosion. I'm using your example to show you no matter what you say, you got to give me a trail, man, because an explosion that take place, let's say I'm on top of a train and I light off a smoke bomb, boom, on top of the train while it's moving. You don't think that it's gonna be a trail started from the moment I light the thing off and the smoke go up, it's gonna start going up and back, because the wind is blowing from a certain direction based on where we traveling in perspective to the train. You mean to tell me I gotta go teach you this, brother?
So have you ever heard of the mushroom cloud?
Oh wow.
The atom going up and the clouds going straight up.
And that's what I'm telling you. That proves that we're on a flat earth. You're making my argument. You're just making my argument. I'm telling you that the earth ain't moving. That's why the mushroom cloud goes straight up. That's why this smoke plume goes straight up. Guess what? Let me clap it up for you. You finally get it. Thanks for making my argument. Like, you're making my argument. If I'm a globalist, that's what I'm saying. You can't explain this away with perspective. Now, guess what all the globalists are saying? The earth is moving so slow for your perspective. Why would the smoke plume leave a trail? Now, guess what? Perspective ain't going to argue that one away because of what I said earlier. My perspective don't change reality. Here's what you got to realize, Rod, is Flat earthers is making an argument that mushroom clouds go straight up. You just made one of our arguments. That's another one we make. We making another one that's the same one, which is this mushroom cloud right here, which is a little bitty mushroom cloud. It's going straight up. Like, you're making my argument. I'm saying that the smoke should go up if the earth flat and it ain't moving. I'm saying if the earth is moving and smoke ascends from a moving object, it should leave a trail most definitely. So unless you can explain why earth is moving and not leaving a trail, you ain't making your argument. You need to start making your argument like yesterday, because we see that it's going up and that supports flat earth.
So when you, it's the stronger, the winds are stronger from the direction.
No, it's not, brother. Listen, let me tell you something right now. A cigarette that's lit, the smoke ascending from that cigarette ain't stronger than the doggone atmosphere that it's ascending to. So, for example, right, if the atmosphere is moving at 1,000 miles per hour, when I light a cigarette on my front porch, it should have a trail. But guess what they say why it don't have a trail? Because the ground and the atmosphere is moving together in the same direction. That's why they say that. You see what I'm saying?
Something, Bro Sanchez.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so Rob, here is the thing. Do you know what a fan is? Blowing the wind. Rod.
Say that again. Say that again.
Do you know what a fan, a wind fan that blows wind in one direction, do you know what that is, how it works?
A fan.
You know how it is, right?
Yes.
All right, so when you have a light up cigar and you run towards that wind, doesn't matter how fast you run, that smoke will go backwards. Why? Because everything is seeking equilibrium. The smoke of the cigar is seeking equilibrium against the wind that is blowing against it. But since you have a denser body, your body won't be moving in the same direction of the smoke. The smoke of the cigar is just seeking equilibrium. That's all it is doing. Nothing else. No gravity whatsoever involved. That's all, Bro Sanchez. Thank you.
That still doesn't.
Listen, this what you gotta realize, dude. In the video I just played, the globe earther showed a woman, showed a man with his hair blowing in the wind. And he said his hair is blowing in the wind because of his position in relation to the Earth's atmosphere, meaning he was saying, listen, if he's going in the opposite direction that the Earth is spinning, his hair gonna blow. If he was going in the same direction, his hair wouldn't blow. And when you heard that, I got you to admit that, yo, that's dumb, ain't it, Rod? And you said yes. The point that we was making when we said that, Rod, was if his hair is blowing on the ground, then this smoke plume should be blowing in the atmosphere. His hair is doing what? Blowing in the wind. If his hair is responding to the Earth's atmosphere, then guess what? This smoke plume show ain't. He's showing you one argument, but the thing is, when we present this smoke plume, the whole argument is talking about it's the Earth spinning, bro. And so smoke ascending from a moving object will leave a tail. Your argument should be, Sanchez, Earth, atmosphere, and the ground is moving together, and that's why the smoke plume ain't got a tail. If I was a globe earther, that'll be my argument. I would say, listen, smoke plume's supposed to go up on a globe because our atmosphere and our ground is together. So the wind will never blow past through the smoke to push it away from the area where it ascended from, Sanchez. Because guess what, Sanchez? Our atmosphere and our ground go together. See how I can be a globe earther too? This is what I'm telling y'all. If you just study your model, you would know what answers to say, which is the best answers that physicists came up with for your model. But you know why y'all scared to say that? Because I set the stage earlier to make y'all say about different wind directions, the atmosphere is moving in different directions. So now I forced y'all in a corner. You can't go with that argument now about what I just gave you. But it's all good. Go ahead. You want to go in? Cut in? Go ahead.
So the atmosphere and wind are two different things.
We
So
know that. The
so yes,
wind is still in the atmosphere, though.
yes, on like the sense that it should have kind of like made sense to everybody. So the atmosphere is full of nitrogen and gases and all types of stuff. So the example that I used, which was the atom bomb, it's going to create more hot, dense air. So that's why it's rising like that. And then, it's a
What? Okay, this ain't an atom bomb. Even though you wrong about the atom bomb, I'm saying if you was right about the atom bomb, you would be able to use that same logic for this smoke plume. It's just a smaller atom bomb, but you can't because you're wrong.
But if you look at a mushroom cloud, it's almost the exact same thing. That's why I use that analogy.
You still ain't telling me nothing about the tail, though. You just guess what you're telling me? You're telling me an atom bomb goes straight up, and I'm telling you, yeah, you're proving flat Earth. You keep telling me that the atom bomb smoke goes straight up, but you're trying to tell me it's because of some heat at the bottom, and I'm telling you, you didn't prove that. Occam's razor, I'm telling you that the atom bomb going straight up because the Earth ain't moving. That's the simple answer. So and guess what? That's the same answer I can use for this smoke plume, but you can't use that for everything. That's my point. Occam's razor is cutting the globe in half. But let's play the video. Got smoke plumes that is ascending up into the atmosphere, no trails at all to show us the rotation of the Earth from west to east. He's basically using an atom bomb to say the smoke is ascending at such a violent rate or such a fast rate, it's exceeded the speed of the Earth's rotation. Therefore, Sanchez, like a bullet going straight up in the sky, the bullet going so faster than the Earth rotation, the Earth won't be able to push it that way with it. I get the argument, but I'm saying if you can't make that if your argument is that's why the atom bomb went straight up, then that falls apart when I come with the smoke plume, because it ain't got enough energy here that's stronger than the Earth atmosphere. So the same argument you make for the atom bomb will debunk you for any lesser smoke ascension that is less, it's rising at a lesser speed than what the Earth is rotating. Very simple. But let's play the video. At over 1,000 miles per hour. More absurdities. We gotta go with Occam's razor. This smoke plume don't have going in all directions. Look at these smoke plumes going in all directions. Even though the Earth is rotating in one direction. And guess what people will say? Well, each of them are exploding at a different rate that's stronger than the Earth force, and they was automatically pointed to go, slant this way and that way. They got to make up a lot of stuff. And all I got to do is say, hey, man, it's simple. Occam's razor, the Earth flat. And you're going to get laughed at, of course. That's their only proof, though. But now let's move to the next phase of this whole thing. Let me see something here. Let me pull up this brother's video real quick. Anybody want to speak while I queue up the video?
Yeah, sure. Well, instead of being laughed at, we can prove it through the scientific method, which we already know. They don't use it because they know they get exposed if we use a scientific method. They don't want to manipulate the presumed cause, because if they do, they basically fail in all their claims.
What's the scientific method?
Scientific method is composed of basically 4 steps. Every other included steps is just separating the same steps in different branches.
Yeah, but here go
Go ahead.
The thing about the scientific method, right? The first
Who was
step,
corrupted?
the first step in the scientific method is observation.
Definitely.
If they're telling us that we can't feel the Earth spinning, we can't see it, And they even said, we can't prove it. The guy who said the earth was spinning said, we can't even prove it. And I can play the video.
Exactly.
His name was Galileo. And check this out. And the thing about it, how can you observe something if you can't feel it, see it, or nothing like that? So you can't even participate in the scientific method to prove earth rotation. Right? This is a cult and like a belief system that you just believe because you were taught to believe it, which is another word for trained to believe.
Oh, you could do a model. You can do a model and reciprocate. You know, that's
when
what
one
we can
part
do.
is pushed.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. Repeat that again. Go ahead.
A model. If you do a model, basically you will, do like sort of a correlation, which is not the best way to prove it, but at the same time, it is the closest way because we are not big enough to, manipulate everything. We cannot manipulate the sun or anything like that,
Well, I think it can be proven very simple. But let me show y'all some of the stuff that we see here. Watch this. They said the reason we can't feel the earth moving, right, is because we can't feel. Watch now. I'm gonna let you hear it out of his mouth. I don't want to make y'all think it's my argument. Listen.
We don't feel constant motion, but we do feel changes in motion.
So this is the foundation of how the earth can be moving through space and we don't feel it. Everyone on board with that? Unmute if you don't understand it. They're saying that, yes, Earth is moving through space at all of these speeds, but we don't feel it because there's no sudden changes. It's like a ongoing, constant motion. We all on board with that?
I agree.
Okay. All right, so let me show you what debunked that argument right there. They said that the Earth is moving through space at one constant motion. And there's never no, sudden changes, right? Now watch this. Kepler's second law say planets move faster when closer to the sun and they move slower when farther from the sun. And because of that, guess what, y'all? Ain't no constant motion of the planets in their model. It's elliptical orbits. Let me show you something real quick. Let me cook though, no interruptions. When I go to get, hold on, man. Listen, don't do that. I'm in the middle of giving them my response to this thing. I don't need no help. Let me get this and we pass it. So check this out, right? Here is what they saying in their model. They're saying that a planet moves slow, then boom, you see that? It's like it gets this little tug from the sun, and they say all of the planets are moving in elliptical orbits. Tell me, if the Earth is doing that, how is that a constant motion? You telling me we wouldn't feel that jerk around? So they having a cake and eat it too. See, they're saying that the reason we don't feel the Earth doing all this stuff in space because it's just one constant smooth ride. But then you give us this elliptical orbit. You telling me it moves faster right here. It speeds up here. So your whole idea of a constant motion it just falls apart when you come with elliptical orbits. The globe model is so easy to debunk when you see that there's a lot of double talk and inconsistencies. That's just when you point it out, people gonna say you just don't understand. Because guess what people in the church say when you point out that Jesus ain't real? When you point out that it was all a lie that was created by Constantine, they say you don't know Jesus like I know him. You see, I went through something. I know this, and they say you just don't understand this Bible. And everybody gonna reject the truth and go into their pre-programmed, traditional, comfortable, what they was trained to do, the indoctrination.
Indoctrination. But here is the thing. One thing that you didn't point out, like I said with the train, remember we are supposedly in their model spinning one way, right? One rotation per day. In that rotation, as in the same way that when you're running on top of a train, on top of the train, not inside, if the train takes a course and it rolls in the train rail to one direction opposite to the ones that you were, going forward, you will definitely fall if you're not clinging to something. So in the same way, in their model, when we are spinning, let's say spinning you know, to one direction, let's say left, whatever model they're using. And when we go in opposite to that spin, we should be trembling and falling, and we don't feel that. Right now, I'm walking in my jaw, and that's not a, something we can experience. That's what they claim, and it's pseudoscience. We don't have that effect, and it's literally nonsense. We don't feel the effects of the senses that we have.
Right.
We have 5 senses, and we are not using it according to them, and that's literally nonsense what they're speaking.
Now here go the crazy part about it, right? When the alignment came, right? Watch this. All of the 7 planets was visible in the sky. This proved that what they teaching us about the solar system is a lie, because there was an alignment. This took place in 2025. This was February 26th. I missed this one, but it was one before this one too. I didn't miss this one. This was the one I covered. I'm tripping, man. But anyway, this alignment, you notice that this was a planetary alignment where all of the planets was supposed to be in the sky, all of the planets in the solar system. What nobody questioned was, where the hell Earth at? We're on it. Now think about it. If Earth was now this was a planetary alignment, y'all, and Earth is right, and Earth's supposed to be part of this. Watch this right here. Watch this. See, if Earth is a planet that's in the solar system, during this planetary alignment, Earth shouldn't be looking up at all of the damn planets, not less Earth is one of these racers, right? And all of the racers left the Earth. Now think about what I'm saying. Let's say Earth is one of these little girls. All of the other planets in the solar system, look where they at. They are in front of Earth. So Earth is like a race, right? Look at what I'm telling you. Earth is part of this planetary orbitable system. Where is it in this rare alignment? This proves that Earth ain't a planet. Earth is a stage, and all of the luminaries in the star was made and centered around us, just like the ancients said. Now check how deep this is, though. You got all of these alignments that we can predict for ages, y'all, and they're telling us that the universe just expanded from this. But let me show y'all something real quick. You see how we got perfect 360-degree circles? This is real proof that the stars and the planets ain't doing no elliptical orbits, people. Come on now. Now they telling you, that's what I'm telling you. You got it. But that's what I'm telling you. They give you a solar system where all of the luminaries is doing this little oblate elliptical-like pattern. But at the same time they give you this one, they also give you this one with perfect circles. They got their cake and they eat it too, because they will give you perfect circles like this one right here. And you know why they give you this one, right? The reason the globe model is so inconsistent is responding to the flat earth model. When the flat earth model point this out right here, right? When the flat earth model point this out, the globe earth model point this out. But the whole thing is they can't make sense out of their whole journey through like the Milky Way, the solar system. So to account for the flaws in a model, they had to come with elliptical orbits to kind of cut that, because the claims that they making on a model, perfect orbits of the stars don't make sense on a model. So what they got, right? So what they got to do, they got to give you perfect orbits when we show that that's what the sky do. But then these perfect orbits don't make sense on a model. Just like earlier in the video, the physics guy was like, the flat earthers and the globe earthers would observe the sun the same way, but on the globe model, we would need a stationary sun with the planets moving. Well, y'all don't got a stationary sun. See, they like to tell flat earthers, y'all model ain't consistent, but their model ain't consistent. 1 minute they got perfect orbits, next minute is elliptical orbits. 1 minute they got a moving sun, next minute it's a stationary sun, because it got to be these inconsistencies for them to make sense every time we point out a flaw. And it ain't that they're right. They ain't winning this debate. They just control the media and all that. They're losing horribly.
That's why we got censorship to the, from head to toe. We have censorship anywhere. You will go to TikTok, censorship. Anywhere you go, censorship, because they're losing the battle.
So, okay, I'm listening. Everybody.
Peace, man. Yo,
Peace,
look at how aircrafts specifically planes, how they land on the airstrip.
Shout out to
that fast.
Yeah.
Not that, do you think?
Shout out to you, Wisdom. Yeah, man, it's just a lot of bogus.
Accelerations caused by forces acting on our body, especially when those forces act unevenly, when one part is pushed while another lags, when things shift unexpectedly. And that brings us back to the puzzle, because if the Earth is spinning, this means we are constantly changing direction, which means, in physics terms, we are accelerating. And according to Newton's second law, acceleration requires a force. And so, should we be able to feel this force as the Earth rotates? To quantify this, let's imagine standing at the equator of the Earth. Looking down from above along the rotation axis, we would be seen to be moving in a circle with a radius equal to the Earth's radius. If the planet rotates once every 24 hours, then any point on the equator is tracing out a full circle in that time. The distance around the circle, the equatorial circumference, is then given by 2 pi r, where r is the radius of the Earth, which is about 6,400 kilometers, or 6.4 times 10 to the 6 meters.
Now here's something I want to point out to y'all. Just because you can make a math equation for something don't make it true. And I think that's another thing that kind of hypnotizes a lot of these globalists, right? Math describes but doesn't guarantee reality. You can make a perfect equation for unicorn population growth, but that doesn't mean unicorns exist.
Mm-hmm. That's because math is part of the hypothesis only. You cannot put it in the experiment. You cannot manipulate anything with math. That's why they fail all the time.
Yeah.
Yo, Sanchez, do you believe in a dome?
I know that there's a dome or something that's keeping the gases above us from leaving out from leaving from I know that there's something keeping the gases that's in the atmosphere from flying off into whatever's beyond this realm. There's something enclosing. Let's just say there's something enclosing the gases that we breathe.
So what do y'all call that? That's
all right,
keeping it there.
I refer to it by what the ancients call it, which is the firmament.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you define the firmament?
You just did. It's a dome that's enclosing the gases that we're in.
So can you like explain, like, I'm sorry, I should have asked it this way.
I'm trying to
let me ask you a question. Hold on, no, I don't want no help. I want y'all. Hold on a second. Let me say something to him real quick. Let me ask him something real quick. Do you think that the atmosphere, which is a sphere, because flat earthers agree that the atmosphere is a sphere. Both of us agree with that. Both models agree. So we ain't going to debate the shape of it. So my thing is, when you complain that flat earthers are saying that the sky is a sphere over us, I just want to point out to you, your model teaches the same thing, that the atmosphere is a sphere of gases. The question is, what's keeping those gases enclosed and contained? That's and each model kind of got the same answer: the electromagnetic energy field of the Earth, which makes this spherical shape. So I mean, my whole thing is this: on the globe model, they would have to show how a chunk of rock with water on it would be creating a torus field, Because guess what? You can't pick up a rock right now off the ground and wet it and show me a magnetic energy field around it. But see, flat earthers are saying that in the middle of the earth where the North Pole at, where all compasses is responding to, it's the earth that's creating the energy field or the torus field that we call the sky. And this is what the ancients taught. So when you ask me what's the cause of it, I'm telling you we're inside of a big electromagnetic barrier, and the gases that is in our atmosphere can't go beyond it. And
show him a Tesla coil.
Okay, yeah. Let me show him some stuff. You're right. Let me pull up some eye candy for him.
Picture it.
Yeah.
So, do you believe in the Earth's core?
I believe that you shouldn't believe when you're dealing with stuff like this. You should either prove what you're saying or learn for somebody that is proving it. And go get it. So what I would say is this: I do know that there's a center of the earth, but we're not on a ball, and the center is not no core in the middle. It's like we're walking around a CD disc, and you know the little hole that's in the middle of the CD disc, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's the North Pole. Please let me do it, guys. That's the North Pole, right? That hole in the middle of the CD disc, that's the North Pole at the middle of the flat earth, where all of the magnetic ley lines run to. That's how we have grid point coordinates and all that.
Okay. So what is surrounding the North Pole? So like the closer you get to the center of the North Pole.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you I'm tell you something. My job here as a flat earther is to prove that the earth flat. That's why I don't call myself a North Pole explainer. I call myself hold on, stop, brother. I'll let you talk. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not being disrespectful, I'm being real. Don't you want genuineness? Now check this out. As a flat earther, I'm telling you, my job is to prove that the earth is flat. Now you asking me what's at the North Pole, and I'm about to show you what the ancestors said. I'm gonna answer you. I'm just telling you, I never been to the North Pole. I'm going off what the ancestors said about the earth, and they were, like, in my opinion, geniuses about this place. What they said about it make more sense than what we're being taught about it today. So let me give you a little something real quick, man.
And while you're looking up, can I?
It ain't gonna take me that long.
Okay.
If you really want to be thorough, brother, slow down. You say you got time. I'm gonna answer you.
I actually got work in like an hour, but
Okay, you got some time then. So check this out.
Yeah, for sure.
Here go. You asked the question. I want to be thorough. Here's what I'm telling you. The Earth is right here. You look at this image, this collage. These are ancient conceptions of the Earth, and I put it next to a Tesla coil. So on one hand, globe earthers and flat earthers are teaching that the atmosphere is spherical and something is enclosing the gases. On the globe model, they're saying that the Earth magnetic energy field is enclosing the gases. But what you would have to do is show me how a rock with water on it can create a magnetic energy field. Because I can show you how a Tesla coil can create a magnetic energy field. Now check this out, right? I'm saying that the Earth is an energy generator. It's a complicated machine. They don't want us to know because they're hiding free energy. That's why they got rid of Tesla. Now watch this. It's deeper than the shape of the Earth. They're hiding what the Earth is because if everyone knew that, you'll be able to reverse engineer the Earth into Tesla coils. Don't you know that the sun and moon is the negative and positive to a battery, and it's following the path of the Fibonacci spiral, which is the Tesla coil path? They got monuments all around the world with this ancient science embedded in it. Now, the globe model said that we come from a Big Bang. I agree with them. We do come from a Big Bang, but how does a Big Bang look? It looked like a Tesla coil. There are no random shapes in the universe. They can't explain to me how you get these perfect spirals in the sky from a Big Bang. That's a random mishap like what they explaining. But on my model, my Big Bang, what I'm saying, my argument make more sense. They got to explain how in their model it's just a bunch of random shards going in random directions, but yet when we go outside, we see perfect 360-degree patterns. You can't get this much order from that much chaos. So what I'm saying is what the stars are following is the natural path of a Tesla coil, and this is the mechanisms behind how the Earth powers itself. We're in a very complicated and intricate structure. They don't want people to know that. We will stop wasting time playing and believing in sky daddies. We'll realize we are ghost in a machine. We're in a simulation. Your energy inside of a device, just like Morpheus was telling Neo. Now the world ain't ready for this red pill. Just like Morpheus told Neo, people will fight this. They'll say, give me the blue pill, put me back in my regular sleep. I don't want to know this truth. It's too much. But guess what? If it ain't gonna stop me from keep telling it. If it hurts you, just get out of the way of it. But here's what I'll say. When we talk about this whole Big Bang concept, you can't make sense out of the Big Bang like a flat earther. Impossible. Let me show you why. Here is flat. Okay, go ahead, brother. You got another question? Go ahead.
I mean, I was going to expound on some things that was said before, but it's like a whole bunch of information to decipher to.
Right.
But I just want to go back to what Homeboy said earlier, which was that's why we're silenced in the media. They don't put the flat Earth model. So
that ain't really as important. But go ahead.
I mean, it's important to where I'm going to land. So, that's true because I don't know too much about the flat Earth model, and then when you do debate, it's always about the globe Earth. So I'm just trying to ask questions to visualize and make sense of why there will be a North Pole that's a cylinder that protrudes and it doesn't have any land that covers it like a core does.
Can I ask you a question?
For sure.
Real quick, yes or no? Is it called the North Pole?
Yes.
Is a pole a piece of land or what it says, a pole? Don't we call it a pole? Like we always call. Anyone on a panel can tell us didn't we always call it the North Pole, right? Pole, right?
Long ago, it used to be called the Rupes Nigra.
I'm just saying though, and that was the name of the North Pole. Is my point.
Yeah.
Right. And they even call Polaris the pole star. And you can't even say the word Polaris without saying pole. So all I'm telling you is you can make up whatever you want to make up, but ever since the beginning of time, we refer to it as a pole because that's what it is.
So
it ain't because, listen, it ain't just because that's what Sanchez wanted to be. It's because, bro, it's just what it is. It's a pole, man. That's why we call it that.
So if you visualize a battery, there's magnets in between it basically, but you can't really see
battery.
it. But it is enclosed. So that's why I'm like,
Rod.
Well,
I'm showing a battery.
Let me land this. So the core is covered by land, and it still has the poles, but it's still covered. So like when I'm thinking about the flat Earth, the pictures that you're showing, it's like there's no land in the middle. It's just a straight Big Bang shot up, and I'm asking questions about that. So it's like
my thing is this right here. The questions is how do a rock with water on it creates energy versus how do a Tesla coil create energy? If my claim is that the shape of the Earth is a Tesla coil, and I'm proving that by showing you it's a plane, it's not spinning, then I'm going even further to show you, because remember how we got here. The claim was that what's keeping the gases inside of our atmosphere, and the globalists teach that there's an energy field around the globe. But a rock with water on it can't create an energy field. We talking about energy. Guess what can create an energy field? The flat Earth model can. So when someone say, what is this electromagnetic barrier that's enclosing the gases in the sky? Earth's magnetic energy field, as they call it. Flat earthers can show you that. And that's what I'm showing right now. So this Tesla coil will generate a huge energy field around it, a bubble around it. And everything inside that bubble will be the gases that we breathe in. And this is what I want to show you right here. Here is us looking at our Earth Tesla coil from a top-down view. Now remember, the pole in the middle of this ripple effect will generate a big old bubble of energy. Matter of fact, let me show you what that'll look like. See, when you new to something, you got to listen more than you talk. And I'm gonna show you something. Here is what the Tesla coil is doing, man. It's creating this big old bubble of energy. And that space, that's the atmosphere. That's why it's spherical. You see, so we both teach that we live inside of the atmosphere, not inside of the Earth. That's on the globe and flat Earth model. But here's the problem. The globe teach that the Earth is creating an electromagnetic energy field. You got to have a mechanism to do. Give me a rock with some water on it and create this field, brother.
The Earth's core.
Exactly.
Listen,
show a picture of a plasma ball.
Right, I got him.
Remember you did the lecture on the plasma ball? That's why I said that. My fault for
Yeah, the plasma ball proves flat Earth. It proves flat Earth. You know why? Because the filaments that you see. First of all, Rod, do you know what the filaments are?
No.
Those are these little tentacles that's coming from the middle of the plasma ball. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. Let me show you what the ancestors said our Earth is. Here's what the ancestors said. Watch this real quick. They said this is what our Earth is. The Mayan, the Olmec, and remember they knew more about the stars than what we know today. Their calendar's more predictive, more accurate than ours. They said we live in a plasma ball. You know how I can prove this? You know what'll happen if you break this plasma ball, Rod?
What will happen?
The filaments can be created. See, let me show you what's happening here. What's creating these filaments that you see coming from the core? And by the way, you asked me about the core on a flat Earth. Let me teach you a little something, my bro. This is how the atmosphere works, right? There's something called red sprites that happen only in the upper atmosphere. And guess what these red sprites are born from? Blue jets. So whenever a blue jet get to a certain layer of the atmosphere, a red sprite is grown beneath it. Go do your research on blue jets and red sprites. The blue jet and the red sprite can be reduplicated on a flat Earth model. When we looking at red sprites that happen only in the upper atmosphere, look at the plasma ball. Where do we see the red part of those filaments? In the upper part only. When you get
Sanchez?
down, now why are you cutting me off? That's why I said.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm gonna tell you something real quick, man. Earlier, I was feeling you because you was like, bro, I'm here to learn. I'm open-minded and all that. You didn't even know what the hell a filament was 5 minutes ago. That means you need to be quiet and soak up what I'm giving you. But go ahead and interject. It's just that's kind of. It gives me vibes like, oh, he just listening to respond now.
I mean, I peeped something in your model. So, imagine the center of that plasma ball is Earth, and the filaments is that atom bomb that I was just talking about earlier.
See, bro, you going to something else while I'm trying to show you about red sprites, though? You see what I'm saying? Guess what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna pass the mic to some other people on my thing, and I'm not gonna tell you nothing else because I thought that when I was finna show you how sprites are formed in your reality, that they may have been some that you would have interested this brother. Like, damn, he's right. Sprites only form in the upper atmosphere, and they on top of blue jets. Wow, and I'm finna go deep into how you can't have that without this enclosure, but you wanna just prove that you right about the globe when you don't even know about the globe. I've been teaching you your whole damn model as we go. Stop trying to debate me on it, dude. You're a student. You don't even know your globe model, and if you keep trying to debate me on it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna quiz you about how the globe work and embarrass you. and watch them see you Googling and chat GPT real quick. Because I've had to teach you about your own globe model so many times throughout the show that at this point you ought to say, you know what, I ain't gonna even debate that man. First of all, I'm gonna go learn my own damn model. Second of all, I'm gonna quit showing up like I got questions when I'm really trying to reinforce indoctrination, but it ain't gonna fly on Sanchez. I asked you, what is a filament? I don't know. If I
That's me
would
being
have
honest, but honestly,
but
you know,
that's what I'm
I
saying is that,
I don't
listen,
need this type of energy.
there's a lot you don't know, and you do need this kind of energy because this is love. I'm telling you, when you get around a bunch of people that know more than you and you realize, damn, I keep saying IDK, IDK. Every time Sanchez asks me something, my answer is I don't know. Guess what? Your rank and your authority as far as how serious we gonna take you on this matter decreases every time you say I don't know. That mean at this point, as a big bro, I'm not even trying to debate you. I'm trying to spare you and teach you something, but you still trying to fight like you still. And I'm like, bro, you already you don't even know the globe model.
But you're
Like,
getting defensive when I
you see what
question
I'm
your
saying?
model.
But it ain't that you questioning my model. You acting like you're questioning my model because you don't know about it. You should be asking questions about it instead of questioning.
I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. Hear me out. What I'm saying is this. You don't know my model. I'm teaching it to you. Not only do you not know my model, you don't even know the model you came to defend. So I'm teaching you yours and mine. And what I'm telling you is, if you was questioning me from a student perspective, that'll be cool based on the fact you don't even know your model or mine. You're in no position to debate me. In order for you to debate me, you at least gotta know your globe model. So if you would like to debate me, you would have to be a student of mine first, and I would have to teach you your own globe model and then debate you on it first. You showed up not knowing your model or mine, and you're trying to debate me, and you don't think that that's annoying. I'm doing a favor. It ain't that I'm getting frustrated because you questioning me. I'm getting frustrated because you won't let me give you the big bro respect. It's like your big bro saying, chill out, little bro. You know I'll knock you out. And little bro so mad he keep trying to fight big bro. Big bro like, look, man, look, you don't even know how to fight, man. You swinging on like, I don't want to do you like that. You're gonna get yourself hurt, man. Like, that's what I'm telling you, bro. Because what's gonna happen if you keep doing this, I'm gonna go into debate mode, and then it's, okay, let's debate. Fuck it. You get the mic, let's debate. Throw your argument at my mom. At this point forward, y'all, I'm about to debate him now. Since he want to smoke, let's go on debate it. Fuck it.
Let's get it.
You can
Let's
make
get
your
it.
argument. Come on, make your argument. Make your argument. Go ahead. You got the flow.
You said that there wasn't no core. The flat Earth model needs a core for
I didn't
things
say
to work.
I didn't say that there was no core to a flat Earth. I said it wasn't in the middle of a spherical Earth like yours. It's in the middle of a circle of like a CD disc. So that's why I kept going to this other image right here. Let me show you. You got to pay attention. Here is what the Nordic people said about the Earth. In the middle of the Earth, they're personifying a big Tesla coil that's creating a magnetic energy field around it. And you can see this tree bending on the side because the ancestors, all of this tree right here represent all of like the atmosphere. That's why it's called a sphere. But nothing will go beyond this little bubble because its gas is inside of a torus field. They can't penetrate that shit. So what this explains is why the gases on a flat Earth don't escape, just like the gases in this plasma ball, we're enclosed. So you would have to explain, number one, why your gases don't escape on a ball Earth, and also how a rock with water in it can create a torus field. You ready? Go ahead.
I want to ask you why, or
you ain't ready to debate. I thought you wanted. You see, here's the thing, man. Here go the thing. What happens, bro? Because you playing games. When I say let's go on, finally have the debate, now you want to keep asking me questions like you want to learn from me. Y'all see the dancing? Either we debating, because look, the moment we start debating, I'm not answering no more of your questions. We are going argument for argument until the Q&A session. That's how debates go. The Q&A from both sides at the end. First, you got to present your argument. I present mine. If you ain't ready for this smoke, then say, bro, I'm not here to do all that debating.
Okay.
Just let me ask you a few questions.
It was ego. I ain't gonna lie. It was ego for me to even accept the debate because I don't even study this shit like that.
That's crazy.
I had some,
But I do respect it though. I respect that.
I had some great questions, but I don't want to.
No, go ahead. This is what I'm gonna do, bro.
Anything.
No, it ain't negative. It's debate energy. Because once someone come and try to debate me, I'm gonna have a different energy. I'm gonna be on guard. I'm gonna be ready. It ain't that I'm gonna disrespect them or nothing, but this is how we debate. We're men, we're like playing basketball, and we gotta have a little energy, man. Come on now. But the whole thing is this right here, right? I don't wanna debate because I don't really think, quite frankly, people know enough for it to be beneficial.
Yeah,
right?
I would have to do my homework. So
that's why I put discussion we can do. And I ain't gonna lie, brother, you asking some good questions, and I still think that you one of the best, callers that call in on the topic. The whole thing about my energy is I just want us to stay how we started. You was asking your questions from a standpoint of, oh, okay, I'm trying to figure it out versus I'm trying to challenge it. But go ahead, you got it, man.
I got one more last question, then I'll digress. So there's I'm assuming that there's a north and a south pole on the flat earth model, and then the atmosphere, we both concluded that it has sphere in the name, so it's a sphere, so it's all around. So
quick interjection, I won't be long. There is no south pole on a flat earth model. There's a north pole and a south ring. This is how a magnet works. Now, a magnet does have two poles, but from our perspective, only one is visible. You see what this, I'm showing you my model now. What we would call the south pole or the opposite pole on a flat earth model, that would be a whole nother, and see this would go into some y'all ain't ready for. That's a whole nother alternative reality. That's a polar reality, what they call the upside down, whatever. We can get into what this whole bottom level is, but the science behind it is a torus field. The whole thing is we can all go into our little theories about, what can be there, but what we want to know is this ain't a theory itself, is what I'm saying. This is science, it's based on science. So when we say that the earth is a torus field, that's a real thing right here. You see? So, but my whole thing is this is how we get night and day. And the sun and moon and the atmosphere is inside of this top portion where we walking around at. And it's following the natural pattern of how the heavens are being stirred up from the center like a blender, creating every new day. And this is how we can prove this. Here it is right here. We can prove that the stars move the way the ancestors said, and it ain't no elliptical orbits the way they should on a globe. It's so many flaws on a globe model, man. It's just so many. And I'm pointing them all out stream by stream. If y'all want to support me, $ BROSANCHEZTV, flat power, hit the super chat. We finna continue. Check this out, though. I was finna teach him how I can prove we're enclosed, but I don't think he ready for that, and I need to share the mic. I was gonna continue with the little plasma ball, but yeah, who else want to speak? I gotta share, and we're gonna.
Yeah, let me say some stuff. Rod.
Wait, hold on, Rod. Let me say something real quick, man.
Go ahead.
I mean, y'all getting indoctrinated with this bullshit, man. It ain't no such thing as a flat earth, and bro like to use his ancestors as
right. I didn't create nothing, Gale.
Wise, bro. Let him speak.
But the ancestors are the fucking ones who use shadows and everything
No, they didn't. No,
to
they didn't.
identify that
No,
it's
they
a
didn't.
spherical Earth. So
No,
if
they
you
didn't.
use
No,
the
they didn't. No, they
ancestors,
Bro
didn't.
Sanchez, let
No,
me
they
have it.
then
didn't.
Bro Sanchez,
let me
let me have
finish,
it.
Joe.
No, stop. And dude, this is what's gonna happen. Off the back, if you want to stay part of the show, you need to quit yelling and calm down, because we're gonna have a respectful back and forth, and you'll have as much time to speak. You don't have to come with that energy. We starting off with the wrong energies. That's what I'm saying. All right. You don't gotta agree with me to, respect the energy so we can have a good exchange. Now, here's why I say the ancestors. I didn't create Nut and Gab. I didn't create these models that we see in the Mayan carved on these walls, these dome structures that show, and even the physicists, even your scientists will say the ancestors believed in a flat earth, but they were wrong about it. What y'all do, y'all straight up deny that the ancestors, y'all try to make the ancestors globe earthers, and the people that gave us the globe don't even tell that lie. That's the crazy part.
Well, you might need to Google ancient observations.
And
Since you know everything, you should know a lot
Let me
about
ask you a
ancient
quick question. Just a
observations.
quick question.
can I say
Whoever,
this too?
hey, listen. Everybody on the call, if I spoke with you, please chill when I get to another caller. You can't hog it, okay? If I had a one-on-one exchange with you, allow me to do that with other people too. And trust me, these other people don't want your help. They coming up here with their own smoke, just like men. They say, bro, watch out. Let me have my shot at it, right? And you got to give them that. No matter how much you want to help, every man got to be able to hold their own. It's a fair fade. You got me? Now, to the other brother, go ahead and unmute your mic, and man, you gonna do it respectful. And I'm gonna let you speak is for a legitimate amount of time. But I'm just telling you, brother, I'm not your enemy, man, just because we disagree about the shape of the earth. So relax, right? Now,
Okay.
right? So now the whole thing is this right here, man. I got a question for you. Can you tell me the man's name that did the two-stick experiment? He looking it up, y'all. Come on, brother. You should be able to just say Eratosthenes.
He will fail.
You see how I gotta teach them? See, every time a globalist come and make an argument, I'ma question them on their own argument since they coming with this energy. And I'm trying to be friendly, but I'm telling them, bro, not only am I gonna debunk your model, I'ma prove to you that I know it better than you first, cause I'm that damn cocky.
Okay. So first of all, obviously you don't know it better than me, not better.
Why didn't you
Than me.
know? Why didn't you know the man name,
Listen,
brother? Why didn't you
I'm gonna
know
get
the
to that.
man name, brother?
I'm gonna
You
get to that
brought the argument.
because listen, I done been over the science
Why
backwards and
did
forwards
you
more
not
than you
know
have
the
1,000
man
times.
name? I'm asking a simple question. You can make fun of my country dialect all you want, but white people don't make fun of Elvis for saying thank you very much. They love his country voice.
Okay.
We
People,
look for the white man to ridicule our dialect to make us look dumb, but a black man end up doing it. Ain't that sad? Ain't that
yeah,
sad?
but
Now,
you try to cut people off. Can I?
brother, because you ain't obeying my wishes to chill out, and I'm asking you a question. You ain't gonna control the
I
narrative on
answered
my
your
channel,
question,
bro.
bro. I said his name is not important.
No, you
I'm
answer with
telling you
another
from the
question.
names
Okay,
from the
his
different
name is
scientists.
important, brother. His
Man,
name is important,
it's not important when I just
bro.
told you of what the ancients used shadows and all that shit to
Bro,
determine
let me
what
tell
the
you
earth
something,
is
bro.
shaped,
Let me
right?
tell you why
Wait,
his name is important. Let
okay,
me
but
tell you why his name is important, because
that
this is
can I?
no, you can't. You can't continue in ignorance on my damn show.
You scared
Because
of the truth,
yeah,
bro. You
right, bro.
scared
Let
of
me
the
tell you
motherfucker.
something. If a nigga don't even know the man name that he bringing up, how the hell can he say that the man is ancient? Ain't nothing
Bro,
ancient. Don't cut me off, bro, please. Ain't nothing ancient about the name Eratosthenes, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell, dude. He trying to say that the ancients did this. The ancients are not Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes came, he don't represent the ancient world. He represent the Johnny come lately when the Ptolemies came and the Greeks and Galileo, Newton, and all of them. That's late as hell. That's way long out the nut and gab. Dude don't know history. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not gonna waste my time with arrogant people who don't know nothing. It don't do my show any good to let them just continue on talking to us, and they ignorant as hell and full of ego and think they know everything. But when you ask them something like, okay, tell me the dude name who argument that you making. The name ain't important. It's important. I know it, and I'm not even a globe earther. And I can tell you everything about Eratosthenes. The time he was living on Earth, how he did the experiment, the flaws in it. That's why, bro, you don't have the privilege to just come up here talking on my show and you don't know shit.
Sanchez, even his model, you set up pillars in his bowl, and when you light it up with a direct light,
that's disrespectful to the audience. You know how much time we would waste if I let every caller just come up here and freestyle. They make arguments and I say, okay, bro, how much do you know about the argument you making? I don't know nothing about it. I'm just regurgitating. That's wasting everybody's time.
I agree. His model fails, even in his own experiment, hypothesis. I mean,
what was your question to me?
No, the question. Okay, yeah. Did I have a question for you, Rod, or the trustee? Which one I forgot?
It was trustee.
I used to have, I have several questions. So,
okay, go ahead.
First of all, your claim that there is an inner core, heater core that is related to magnetism, it doesn't work. I guarantee you that. This is how you make a magnet. Usually people know how to make a magnet. You need electricity, electric charge to charge the metal. Now, if you heat up a magnet, it loses its magnetic properties, which is opposite of your claim. The indoctrination they give you in the indoctrination camp that you call the school. Magnets do not work with heat. The magnetic force in the earth, it is not related to the pseudoscience core that you believe in. Now, Rod, it is another thing that you need to think about. When you talk about energy, the core, the heat, it loses its property in time. It needs to be charged. Now, here is how you charge it. Easily, you know how to make a car battery? Easily, with, free resources. You go and get salt water. It could be from the sea. You can make it artificially with sea salt. And you need also a baking soda. You know where you can find baking soda? At the shores of the river. You know where you can find salt water? In the sea. Do you know how the Tesla coil works? How you can melt metals under the Tesla coil with a battery? Easily. I'm explaining you how. This is what you don't see because they didn't told you in school scientific method or experiments. They didn't show you experiments. They show you a screen that long ago, years ago, centuries ago, you will be burned in a fucking stake if you even remotely talk about that. And that was the magical ball from the wizards and the mirrors from the witches. Now we call it a screen. I'm holding one right now, my laptop in my hand. And people do not like to, use the evidence that it is being provided because you are making a claim, but you are not providing the evidence. We providing you with the evidence. Now, here is what happened with the last guy. The last guy, he have too much to say. You know why? Because we only know a little bit. This side only know a little bit. The only tiny little bit we know is the truth. And the other side, what they do is they know too much. You know what is left after the truth? Exactly, the lies.
Now, trustee, I ain't gonna lie. Wait. I am not gonna lie, bro. You fucked me up with the course, and I didn't the magnet. I didn't know that magnets don't really work well with heat. So
that's
it kind of
that
fucked me up. So
I know you don't know. That's what I'm trying to explain you.
No, I'm just you taught me something that I mean.
They're lying to you straight to your face. The magnet in the allegedly earth, it doesn't work. Magnets lose all the properties when you heat. Then it's impossible to have magnetic current when you have a compass.
It doesn't work without a magnetic currency, So that energy is being guiding you and telling you that there is no inner core with heated energy. It is impossible because it will lose the properties. It is not possible. And listen, I like your perspective of I didn't know, I said this, let me emphasize and comprehend. But sometimes you think that we didn't study that. We did study
I'm
that.
not. I didn't say that. I think you're assuming that,
Listen,
and
listen. But
that's why you're getting defensive.
put yourself.
There's no need to assume anything. I'm just, if I ask a question,
Look. You are
you should be
assuming
able
that.
to provide me just like how you did
I
right
know,
now, and
Rod,
I accepted it.
but
No,
uh, bro,
he-
he thinks that we didn't went to a school and we didn't went through
see,
all the stuff he
why do
went.
you keep assuming that? I never even, bro. I never even said that. Well, no. He the whole thing was him explaining why having a core really doesn't make sense with the electromagnetic force of the Earth. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because he said that he doesn't work well with magnets, and that's true. So that's something that I got to think about. But I mean, I did not know that, and that does make a lot of sense too. And I can see where the confusion does come from, and then it's like, okay, like, well, that model doesn't make sense because you need magnetism. So right.
Got to that argument because we was trying to talk about what's keeping atmospheric gas.
It wasn't me.
It's open floor. Open floor.
No, I got it. Hold on. Am I still borging up? All right, cool. Now here's how magnetism is free energy. Okay, all right,
Yo,
you take
Sanchez, I think
Appreciate
you
y'all.
muted
hold
on you.
on, man. Hold on.
I'm good. I got you. I just unmuted myself. They didn't miss nothing either. I was just passing the mic. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. Here's how magnetism work, and here's how it's free energy. You know how like an elevator don't have to get plugged up to go up and down, and it never has to get charged up, but it always works. All right, cool. Now the motors in the elevator, you set the magnets parallel to each other, so they push against each other. You use a conduit, which is copper, and you a coiled copper, right? And that conduits the energy. So as the magnet presses against each other, this is what causes the energy. Now you don't need a sun, you don't need electricity or nothing. It stores its own energy. This is how an elevator works. That's the same how the world work with magnetism. There's a
Have you done
conduit,
this?
which is excuse me. There's a
Have you done
conduit.
this?
All right, cool. Listen, dude. All
Yeah,
right, y'all got it, bro.
yeah. Nah, let him. I ain't gonna lie. He's cooking. So whoever cutting in, they probably a globalist. But go ahead.
Yeah, but we would be the conduit of we conserve the energy as we move, and it preserves its own energy. This is where you get ether. This is where you get radio waves. This is where you get these towers catching the same energy that we making from the magnetism of the world. Y'all got it. It's free energy. There's nothing. I don't know how they selling it to it. All we
Magnetism.
gotta do is find the
Magnetism is not free
conduit to
energy.
harvest. But
Yeah,
y'all got it.
magnetism is not free energy. In any way,
Good.
all elevators require like electricity. Before that, they required pulleys. So yeah, you have to have some kind of energy. They're not just magnetism. Never were.
There is only electrostatic magnetism and relative density. Everything works with just those three directional forces. If
what's the equation for density? Does it have gravity in it?
density, listen, I'm going to tell you one thing that you do not agree with. Magnets do not care about your maths, about your language. Math is a language and it is correlation. You can use Spanish, English, anything like I'm doing right now to explain the energy, the forces, and how everything works. You do not need to add another language. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, no one's adding any languages. You're just saying a lot of words from a language. No one's adding any language.
Math is a language that explains the world around you in different shapes.
And you're right, it does. It explains that it's a globe. Every way, shape, or form. It's geographically impossible to have a 24-hour sun on a flat Earth.
Yes, but you know why? Because geo requires a ball.
Let me say something real quick, y'all. I want y'all to just understand what's going on with Rob, while you really can just ignore him the whole show. Hear me out. He will say stuff like, it's geographically impossible to have a 24-hour sun on a flat Earth, versus showing up saying, look, listen, bro Sanchez, I've looked at all of these 24-hour sun flat Earth videos. I got some links that I want you to pull up here, and we finna debunk them together. Get ready, Sanchez. Rob is so damn lazy. He just show up and yell, and there's zero. He think that ain't proving nothing, bro. Okay, you're right just because you said it with that authority. Let's move on, y'all. Like, come on, bro. Like, you look like a clown, man. Either prove it or shut up, bro.
You brought up all the points. I would love to talk about the points you brought up in the show: the train smoke, the motion of the Earth.
Make your points up. Make the points up to what you just said just now. You can't even prove what you just said.
This is your time.
The main point is this: Bro Sanchez.
Prove what you just now said. That's the main point.
He's not a physicist. He's not accredited.
Prove what you just now said.
The Foucault pendulum proves the motion of the Earth.
Provide your data.
Prove it.
Goes up, and it's not going with the train because it's not going as fast as the train. It's common sense. It hits resistance when it leaves the stack. It's real simple. This is ridiculous.
You was a little muffled. Say that again with the train. You a little muffled.
Yeah, I said the bumblebee. He has wings so he can create lift to move around. Without lift, he's still.
I got to say something. He got to create enough lift to escape the rotation of the Earth, which is 1,000 miles per hour. He got to supersede that, because remember now, y'all, the other globalists tried to use an atomic bomb because they wanted to give us enough force that will be more than what the Earth is rotating to explain why it had enough lift to go straight up. Same with the bumblebee. If you think it got more force than 100 miles per hour, then guess what, bro? You right.
Stupid.
Okay, but I really use this, bro Sanchez. Let's say we have a race. We have a race that's 100 miles long. Okay, we have a race that's 100 miles long.
This feel like the devil had Jesus on that mountain. Go ahead.
Hold on. So we have the race. The race is going to start. It's between a mouse and a guy who's like who takes a step, and every step that he takes is 2,500 feet long. Okay, so we're gonna race. We're gonna race 10 miles or whatever. So who do you think will appear faster? The mouse. If they finish at the same time, who do you think is going to take a longer step? Okay, the fucking giant with a giant step who just walked a half a mile.
What's your point, man?
Because you're saying the Earth spins 1,000 miles an hour. As
it does.
I know, but it's not that we're on some kind of like wild ride. It's not a roller coaster ride.
Rob, I get it. Rob, I'm gonna say this, and I bet you're gonna understand. I get it. Earth moves fast, but from our perspective, it ain't fast at all because we're ants on a little bitty ball. Now listen, my perspective don't change the fact that 1,000 miles per hour is still fast. What my perspective changes is how I perceive it, which is very so slow as don't even exist, as they say. But check this out. So I get it. The point is this, Rob. My perception don't change how smoke behave when it's ascending from fast moving objects. Now that explains why I don't feel the fast moving object. That's perception. But my perception will not change how a smoke should behave on a fast moving object. And my like if I perceive a road mirage as water, that won't make it a lake. My perception don't change facts. So using the same argument that you giving me to explain why I don't feel the rotation won't work when you try to explain the smoke plume. I keep telling them that. Drop a 1 if y'all get it in the chat room.
I agree.
So the train smoke is not as moving as fast as the train once it leaves the stack. So therefore, it encounters resistance of the wind. The train is moving, what, 35, 45 miles an hour on the tracks. So
how fast is moving?
So
won't matter. It'll still create a trail.
Well, yeah, of course. That is what it is expected to do on any normal circumstances. You're trying to say that the plume should go straight up and follow with the train, straight with the train.
Rob, listen, if we take a few cells that we can visualize in a microscope and we put them in a NASCAR wheel and we spin it 1,000 miles per hour, we're talking about actual model. It will disappear from the area.
Listen, man. Okay, see,
you
start off on the wrong premise. You have to spin it one time in 24 hours. That's the relative speed of which you're the object. It's not 1,000 miles an hour, what you're thinking.
Listen, 1,000 miles per hour is 1,000 miles per hour.
Right, regardless of what I perceive, regardless of my perception.
The object is large. The object is large.
1,000 miles per hour.
It's 1,000
miles
per
day.
hour. It doesn't change because of your belief.
A day is a day.
Speed.
So can I go? I want to go back. I want to go back to my analogy then. Imagine a guy who can take it. Imagine a guy who can take.
We get the analogy, Rob. We get the analogy. Listen. Listen. This what you ain't getting, bro. 1,000 miles per hour is 1,000 miles per hour. No matter how big the earth is, that won't change that it's 1,000 miles per hour. It'll change how I perceive the 1,000 miles per hour. So if the earth was smaller, I would perceive that 1,000 miles per hour a lot different than if the earth was bigger. Like, we get it, bro. We get it. We talking about the way that the smoke plume is behaving. That ain't based on perception. See, they keep making a perception argument for a natural phenomena. Y'all see what I'm saying? And you just can't, you're not gonna force us to be dumb, bro. It don't work on us. We woke. Like, either you're gonna deal with the smoke plume, like you keep going back to perception, like my perception changed the way smoke behave. Like smoke gonna say, well, Sanchez perceived this, so I ain't gonna do it.
And I'm giving him the cells, bro. I'm giving him the minute cells. He still don't want to get it.
It's the same way when you're walking. When you're walking, if you're smoking, as long as you're walking, the smoke will come out your mouth and go behind you. But if you sit still, it'll just float up.
Is the earth sitting still?
The earth is not still. The fool called pendulum.
Right,
That's
bro.
nonsense.
Right then, but you just said the earth was still though. When you just brought up the cigarette example, bro.
Smoke is all moving with.
This is so crazy, bro.
We're all sitting on the planet.
Rob, do you understand that nonsense stands for not using your senses? Do you understand that? Tell me, Rob.
Okay. Sure, buddy. Listen, everything on the planet is moving at the same speed, so it doesn't matter.
Now, guess what? So listen, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. You said everything, and I'm going to hang you by them words, because everything include the clouds, too.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
Remember earlier when they tried... Now, y'all remember earlier the cloud situation when they was dancing on that. Y'all remember now he just said everything. And so okay.
You don't say, oh, well, the clouds are moving 300 miles an hour, but add in the other.
Bro, it's everything. Like I said, you're hanging by your own words. Now, I didn't say everything.
You're just trying to twist them.
Listen, brother.
Sanchez,
did you say,
to me right now.
Bro, listen, bro. If everything move together, that mean everything. You can't keep going. What they do, they go back and forth and double talk. They do a lot of double talking, man.
I didn't double talk anything. I said everything's moving together. Everything in the system.
And that's what I'm telling you. That's what they teach on your model, that everything, including the clouds, is moving with the atmosphere. And this video debunked that, because if the ground was moving in synchronicity with the clouds, which is going east or west to east with the atmosphere, then the clouds wouldn't pass me by. The clouds went past my house, because remember, let's go back to their model, y'all. Let's go back to their little globe model. Let's get it. Let's spin it around. Let's hold
Can
on.
we talk about the picture on the screen? Oh shit, that picture on the screen. But bro, that was the one I was hoping you
Just listen.
Yeah, we can't do too much at one time. Y'all love chaos, don't it?
Go to Sleeping Warriors last video. He has
Hey, bro, we on Bro Sanchez. But if you want to pull that up, go ahead. I'm finna make it on my argument what I'm about to do now, and when it's your turn, you could for sure do.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the clouds prove rotation. They prove everything. They prove the globe.
Yeah, all I'm saying, bro, it's not my argument. Your model shows the clouds moving with the atmosphere, and you just said out of your mouth everything moves together. But now, guess what, y'all? Wait a minute, don't cut me off, bro. Come on now, we doing good. I'm about to land. Check it out, right? Now, he said that, and his model show that, and if that's true, these clouds shouldn't be passing that house, because if the ground and the atmosphere are moving together like what you just said and what this model shows, then those clouds shouldn't pass a house by, because the ground and sky moving together. So now what's finna happen? I'm not done, bro. I'm gonna let you know when I'm done. So now when Rob get the mic, y'all, what he's gonna do is make the clouds move how they wanna move and do something other than they're gonna be out of sync basically with the Earth atmosphere versus doing what they doing within it. Like I was explaining earlier. Watch. When he just said everything moved together, y'all, now he about to double talk again. Wait for it. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, so actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to explain to you what you guys are missing. And the point is this. So we're all moving right now at 1,000 miles an hour on the Earth. If I start walking fast or running, I'm just increasing my speed, my velocity on an already existing set course. So you're just mistaking that the clouds are all. Hold on, I'm almost done. I didn't.
No, go ahead. I ain't interrupting.
So the clouds are actually there. Everything is in our system. Is in the globe system. It's moving around. We're spinning around. And the clouds, like us, like we can get in cars, increase our speed. We can get in planes. The clouds can increase their speed with winds, and winds push them faster. That's why they're moving 1,000 miles with us. But sometimes they look like they're moving faster. They are moving fast, hundreds of miles an hour, because the winds are pushing them. So yeah. We have all the answers.
I got you. So let me say something, y'all. Clouds don't move faster than 1,000 miles per hour. That was baloney. Clouds do not move faster than the Earth rotation. So, bro, think about this, right? If me and Rob is in a river, and the river rapids is let's say 1,000 miles per hour. Me and Rob getting a 3,000 miles per hour. Now, if Rob can't swim nothing, if Rob can't if Rob don't swim more than I'm swimming, then he can't go, resist the current more than me, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? We both faced with this same current, right? But my whole thing is this right here. If Rob is swimming the same speed that the Earth is rotating, he'll never get nowhere. Rob got to go 1,000 plus whatever he's going. So if I'm an airplane, right, me being still is me moving at 1,000 miles per hour. Do y'all get it?
Yep, exactly.
Right. So now anything other than that is just plus. So if I just be still, I'm still moving at 1,000 miles per hour with the atmosphere, but I ain't getting nowhere. So what I'm saying is, if the clouds is moving faster than the Earth atmosphere, then you're right. They can pass my house right by, like what we see in this video here. But I'm telling you, the clouds is within the Earth atmosphere, and unlike me and you, they would basically, what they're teaching in your model, I can show you better than I can tell you, is what we're seeing here is that the clouds are just stuck within this current, no matter what they doing in synchronicity with the ground. So you're saying they're outrunning this 1,000 miles per hour. I'm saying, according to this model, the clouds is just still, but what's making them move is the atmosphere. And if the atmosphere is synced with the ground, then the clouds wouldn't pass my house. Flat power.
There you go.
I'm saying your understanding of it is misconstrued.
No, see what they do?
Everything
Do
on
you
the
see what they
planet,
do? I totally understand it, bro,
everything on
because
the planet
I'm
moves.
gonna tell you how you know I understand it, right? He said out of his mouth, everything on my model moves together. Then I literally showed the animation of his model. And I'm gonna show you even further that I understand it. They say when a hot air balloon get off the ground and it ain't moving at no speed, just like the cloud, that it's moving with the flow of the atmosphere, and that's why it's able to drop back down in the same spot that it landed. So I totally understand the model because I'm teaching it as I go. As I debunk it, I'm exercising the fact that I know what I'm arguing against. It ain't based upon me misunderstanding. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Like, they only tactic is, y'all don't get it, you don't understand it. And we clearly, I've been teaching it to y'all as I beat it up. That's the crazy thing about it. You've been agreeing with me, bro. You just agreed.
I said misconstrued. I said misconstrued.
I didn't misconstrue nothing because guess what? I went with what you said. You said everything moves together, and I made you double down on it, and I even showed the animation before I even made my argument. So my argument wasn't a misconstruement. It was based upon us getting clarity that we both know what we're talking about here. That's why I go through all that work before I make my argument. So y'all can't say I don't understand it or something ain't right and all that bull goofy shit.
Exactly.
I know all your arguments, man. That's why I show up, man. It's been a while.
What kind of response is that, though? What kind of response is that?
Wrong, man.
Okay, think about it, y'all. Rob is not gonna give me a scientific, professional, mature rebuttal. He's just gonna say, I know all your arguments, but you can't debunk them and respond professionally to them. You can just say, I just think you're wrong, man. Just think you're wrong. I just showed up on your show to say, I think you're wrong. Bro, this is a science channel. Show up here to show and prove, not to just say, I think you're wrong. Bro, that I'm wrong because he thinks I'm wrong, y'all. So I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong now. Next person. Who want the floor?
No, I got much more to say about it.
Rob, you ain't tired of this, man?
You got to share the flow, Rob. You don't really have no scientific rebuttals for your model. You just think I'm wrong. So let's see if someone else can prove that I'm wrong. Let's go.
No problem. I'll be back. My mic's dying. I'll be back.
I'd be ready to speak, actually.
Sure, go right ahead. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, everybody. This is Dr. M. Just to let you know what my background is, I studied my PhD in medical health science, and I specialized in biogenetics. I took on a subspecialty as well in mental health psychology. So I'm definitely not a globe earth, before anybody gets triggered. I'm not a globe earther. I just want to tell you a little bit about like when I first started studying everything. So I started out in nursing, and I started on like the basic level, doing things like CNA, phlebotomy, and then I obviously climbed the ladder. So when I was first studying this information, when I got into the field, I'm thinking, as soon as I study the info, I'm finally going to understand what they make so difficult to understand. Because like when we're in elementary school, they make it seem so hard. Like you have to be an astrophysicist to understand this information. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense, because if I had to be an astrophysicist to understand the information, you wouldn't be housing the knowledge in the elementary school. So that means if you're housing it there, that means it's rudimentary. That means any basic human could understand this, but why is it that we don't understand it? So when I'm studying it, I'm like right away, I was like, I knew it. They're telling us so many lies. Like they're not telling us lies, but they're misconstruing the information. So like the easiest tactic that they use is they'll tell you the beginning information and then they'll tell you the end information, but they don't tell you everything in the middle, so that's where they could insert the lies. Like everybody will get to the same beginning and ending, but where the debate's gonna start is, oh, I can add in all this stuff about gravity. I can add in all this stuff about the moon, and it's so bad now that astrologists, which not the astrologists like on a scientific level, like these tarot card people, they even think they know science. It's getting so bad. Everybody's a guru. But when I got my PhD, when I was in that program, one of the things they taught us on day one is not to trust anybody else's info, because you're not going to be a doctor if you always regurgitate info. Like, I would say a type of doctor that does that is like pharmacist, medical doctor. But once you go into these other levels, you don't do that. Like the PhD people, they will create the materials that the MD will use, because we will not trust somebody else's info. So that's why you see a lot of people like they're always debating, because it doesn't add up. Every time you go and look at one thing on a basic level, like just on the atomic level, you see a pattern. So I'm like, I'm already seeing patterns. I'm going to follow all these patterns. And if you're following the patterns in a genuine way and you're not trying to be deceptive, when you're being deceptive, you're making yourself look stupid, because this information is from elementary school. So why are you acting like you don't understand it? Because when you start lining up the patterns, you're going to only get to one conclusion. Now, everybody's going to hit the wall. That wall is going to be where they start inserting God. They start inserting juju, all the juju. That's on the high end, when you've gone down every avenue, but you can't figure out this last thing. That's where they start entering the juju. But you don't need the juju, regardless of the juju, because why do we got to be all the way traveling to some space? We don't need to do that.
The doo-doo.
Everything else that we do in our natural life, we don't have to go to the extreme to do it. Like if I want to move my arm, I'm just going to move my arm. It's only when you get into NASA and all of this crazy foolishness that you got to go all the way outside of you. And that's not true. Like, we accomplish a lot on a regular basic level, just being our natural normal self. We don't gotta keep inserting this juju. This science is very easy to understand. The only reason why they created that character in the movies, like the scientist is a nerd, somebody who is looked down upon, somebody who is dumb, and they're not dumb. They're book smart, but they're not street smart. And that was to deceive you. Like, no, that person was someone catching on to things early, and like, no, I need to study this. There's something to this. And now everybody wants to be a scientist. Before, that would be so frowned down upon. That would be nerdy. But I don't think people are being genuine, because, like I said, when I was on a basic level in this stuff from the beginning, when I was much younger, I already saw the inconsistencies. I didn't need to be getting a PhD to see the inconsistencies. But the reason why I'm going to get the PhD is so that when I'm talking to my peers, like, I'm over it. Like, I'm not going to debate people who don't even create anything. They don't even create our technology. They don't even work in the healthcare. Like me, I'm going and attacking my brethren. Like, okay, the MDs, the scientists, like, you know that doesn't make sense. Come on. We got to stop deceiving the people at some point. Because when you use information that has been peer reviewed and you don't give me no background, like you just saying this is peer review. What does that mean? Because our industry is very corrupt. They make up research all the time and pay the peer review committee to publish the research all the time. They lie all the time. And one of the things we were taught in my program is every time you get some kind of evidence, you have to go into the background of not just the evidence, but that person. Forget even trying to replicate the research. I'm going straight to that person. If they're not credible, I'm not even looking at that stuff, because what is the point? You're already going to be lying. What is the point? Like, they're being very deceptive on purpose, because, like I said, we started learning science in elementary school. So there's no reason for someone to be PhD level debating globe Earth, because just like how matter doesn't exist, matter is not real. Matter is just the physical representation of the atoms grouping together. It's a concept.
I don't even think atoms are real. But you know what? I tell you what, I
According
appreciate.
to them,
Yeah,
according to them,
yeah,
and I agree with you too. I think we could uncover the truth. So it's
Well,
so bad that I don't think any of this stuff is real. Like they're totally being deceptive. Our ancestors were onto something. That's why they call them primitive, because they were thinking more in the esoterical mindset. But they call that primitive so that you'll think they're stupid. No, they were onto something. They didn't go out and get PhDs. None of those people had PhDs that were teaching other people knowledge. Your grandmother can show you how to heal yourself with just some stuff from the outside. Right? You don't need all these degrees to get this stuff down. And that's what happened when someone tries to debate you, Brother Sanchez. Like they're aligning themselves with these experts because that's how they feel in their mind. They feel like you didn't go to school, you didn't study, so you don't know something, even though behind the scenes, I can assure you, everybody's saying the same thing, that it doesn't add up. And the scientists, they're less likely to believe in the
let me.
higher creation is because they're so technical, but
Oh yeah,
because
they
on
gonna they credentials is what they take pride in. Some of them
the,
spent 10 years in school. So even if they did find out the truth ain't really gonna maintain their status, their networks, their friendship, their peers. They might be an alumni, at some all of that
money is
stuff,
attached,
Yeah.
they'll lose their money. Hmm.
So
It's
one
never
thing
gonna add up because you don't know how to do the math
so
right.
So one thing we're gonna do is this, right? I'm gonna go back and show y'all something about what we were saying about the clouds here. And if the clouds are just sitting still above your house, they going
They're
at
not.
they're going. Listen to me, bro. I said if
Oh
they
shit!
are.
I'm sorry, my
I
mic
said
was on.
if
Sorry.
they are. I'm trying to show you something and make a point. If you see a cloud just sitting still over your house, like you do some days, they're saying that the still cloud is still moving at 1,000 miles per hour. So if the still cloud above your house is moving at 1,000 miles per hour and getting nowhere, like I was explaining about the river, right, situation, how fast is the cloud moving that's passing your house? Because now what we saying is that those clouds is moving faster than the earth is rotating. And keep in mind that being still, my thing is this right here. I thought that the clouds was moving with the earth rotation. And that's why Rob said earlier, everything is moving together. See, once they say that the clouds is moving with the earth rotation, like what this model show, they can't pass the house. It's a very simple argument that I want to get us back on track with it, just in case there's any more globe earthers that wanted to respond to it. This and along with the smoke plume is like is ridiculous. Think about it. They saying when we jump, we land back in the same spot because the air and the ground is synced together. So just think about that when you see this little boy toss this bottle up in the sky. Like, let's just play this real quick. Look at the bottle. The bottle gonna fall exactly where he wanted at it. He's not accounting at the ground rotating and nothing. Stuff like this don't make sense on the globe when you really think about it. When you think of the way we live, most of the stuff we do is designed that we're expecting stuff to be where we want it to be at the moment we suspend it from the ground because we know the ground ain't moving beneath us. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to know why this argument is so important, let me go back to my original video so you can see what the little boy doing right there, right? And then I'm going to show you why this is very important. Hold on real quick. Let's go to my video now.
That's because we're moving too, bro.
I know. Thank you. That's what they model teach, and that's what we're debunking. Facts. They don't want to admit that. Like y'all saying everything synced together. Facts. And that's what we're debunking.
Are you gonna debunk it?
Hold on a second. Yeah, I want you to be quiet a minute when I'm talking. I mean, I'm in the middle of doing it. I can't if you're talking over. So check this out, right? Like I was saying, the little boy that's dropping the bottle right where he wanted to be, that's a very mild, small scale of like a bomber dropping their bomb where they want it to be from an even higher level. So let me just play this for you. The point is this. The SR-71 Blackbird has a top speed of 2,193 miles per hour. Now remember, the ground beneath it is rotating at 1,000 miles per hour. You do the math. 2,193 take away 1,000. That's going to give you around 1,200 miles per hour, 1,100 roughly, if you want to put the 40 on there. Like and share. Like and share, SR-71 Blackbird at a top speed of 2,200 miles per hour is flying underneath a ground that's rotating at 1,000 miles per hour. Under the ball earther theory, the pilot would have to compensate a 1/4 mile of every curvature every hour. That's 23 feet a minute. You see how many absurd things you have to believe in to accept this idea? And I know most of the world accept it. So it think about this, right? The pilot in this plane is moving at 2,200 miles per hour. His target moving at 1,000 miles per hour. This latency effect, do you know how hard? Now think about this, right? Imagine you're a hunter, right? And you're running at 2,200 miles per hour and you trying to hit a deer that's running at 1,000 miles per hour. Don't you know it'll be easier to hit the deer if it was running at the same speed as you?
Again, you're not understanding. Everything's already moving 1,000 miles an hour. The 2,000 miles an hour added on to the additional 1,000 that you're claiming. No one takes into account for it. We're all moving. That's just the general movement of the planet. We spin at about 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
But listen, Rob.
It's very slow. It's very slow.
Listen, Rob. Listen what you said earlier.
I get 10 more seconds.
Go ahead. You got it, man.
And it also, if you really want to get technical, the spinning is actually proven in long distance shots, such as long range sniper shots, because you actually have to judge where the planet's going to be by the time the shot gets there. So
that's a lie. I'm a marksman. That's a lie. Now that's 10 seconds. Let me explain. I'm a marksman, bro, in the military. Yes, I am. Matter of fact, I'm a sharpshooter. I was one off from marksman. But check this out, Rob. Here's the thing. You just debunked yourself. I was in the Air Force. But listen, you just debunked yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna show you how you just debunked yourself, Rob. Earlier, you said once something is moving faster than the Earth, like weather and clouds, it's independent of itself. Now check this out. No, I'm not
no,
bro. Listen.
I'm just saying it's increasing.
Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying, bro. You cut me off. You gotta hear me. If I'm in a river that's already pushing me 1,000 miles per hour, if I can move 2,200 miles per hour, that river's 1,000 miles per hour don't even matter no more. I've broken its grasp. Like I can do what I want to do because the speed I'm moving at is so much more powerful than what the river is pushing at. This is common sense. So what I'm saying is this right here. That don't stop the river from flowing just because I'm moving through it faster. It just stopped me from being bound to the current. Now let me make my point. Let's say I'm hovering above the river and I'm trying to hit a target that is bound to the flow of the river. So let's say there's a rubber ducky in the river and it's following the current, but I'm hovering above the river, and every time I hit gas and every time I move, I'm moving at 2,200 miles per hour. What's the chances of me hitting an object that's being carried by the river at 1,000 miles per hour as I approach it at 2,200 miles per hour without overshooting it?
Not very good.
Right.
Not very good.
Right.
But the analogy I can debunk right here, because the river, of course, with a rubber ducky on it, a rubber ducky going 1,000 miles an hour down a river is extremely fast because you're stationary on the river with that happening. But the fact is, if I put the rubber ducky and set it on the ground, the rubber ducky is moving 1,000 miles an hour. But guess what? It's not even moving.
Dude, the river, listen. When I say that the river
your analogy is retarded.
Listen, what I'm telling you why you're retarded, y'all. I'm gonna show you why you're retarded. If the river is moving at 1,000 miles per hour, that represents what the ground is doing. If the river is a body of water on the ground, then guess what? It's moving at the same speed of the earth rotation. What I did to show you the river was how the plane would move through the atmosphere, because the atmosphere has its current from west to east, 1,000 miles per hour, and the plane has to move through that like a boat in the water that's going 2,200 miles per hour against 1,000 miles per hour current. What often happens is you globalists don't understand why flat earthers relate certain information, because when they taught us the globe, you didn't have to critical think. You just had to raise your hand and repeat what the fuck you was told. So therefore, what I'm saying going over your head, bro, that's why you think you so damn smart, had the nerve to say what I'm saying is retarded when you was too retarded to understand what I'm saying. If I'm telling you the river is flowing, if I'm telling you that the duck is on the river and it's going in the same, it's following the flow of the river 1,000 miles per hour, that's equivalent to what you said about the building on the ground.
It's not though. It's not though. We just we can prove this in real life, bro. When you're an Air Force guy, when a plane goes by you at 1,000 miles an hour, that's very fast. That's 1,000 miles an hour fast. Man, you're like, holy shit, that's fucking breaking the sound barrier. That's crazy fast.
No,
but the planet, I'm almost done.
Hold on, let him say this. Let him get through vomiting.
We are on a big planet, and
get through puking.
The actual the amount of time it takes to fucking go around to do one revolution is calculated people out to be 1,000 miles an hour. It sounds fast to you because you're thinking like 1,000 mile an hour car. Or
no,
jet.
It don't. I get it. I totally get what you're saying. It just don't change the 1,000 miles. So just because, see, here's what they do, y'all. They say you don't perceive the earth moving fast, even though it is, because it's big. Then when I go beyond perception and I talk about how things would work on the earth rotating like that, they still try to come with this perception argument that he just said. Like your argument that you making, Rob, it is a perception argument that is only bound to why I can't feel the earth rotating at 1,000 miles per hour. That wouldn't change the fact that a dude in his Blackbird would still have to account for a moving target beneath him that's rotating at the speed of the earth the moment he start doing whatever speeds he doing in the sky.
Yes. And I would even argue that with the globe model, it actually makes that concept so much more difficult. Like, if you just believe in the flat earth model, like, you don't have to be inserting all this junk because you don't think that we're spinning around like that. And then you don't have to worry about that because it's not happening. And Brother Sanchez really already broke this down with that video about the Katy Perry situation. Like, that whole thing violated so many scientific laws, it's not even funny. Like, you can't just go from the ground all the way up to the so-called space and some contraption wearing some kind of regular clothes and just be there in 2 seconds. Like, it was so phony. Even the children who go to elementary school learning the fake science,
I got a question.
Well, questioning that, it's like, it's common sense.
I got a question. Like, how before the rocket took off on the Earth, how fast was it going before it took off?
All right.
How fast was the rocket going before it took off? According to y'all, you guys keep saying the number.
Again, you're talking about the relative motion of the Earth as if it's some kind of crazy speed.
Tell us what the number is.
Take a ball, and put a draw dot on it, and spin that ball in 24 hours. Spin it one time, and tell me if that's fast to you. That's what you need to start thinking about it as. Not 1,000 miles an hour. Think about the revolutions per fucking minute.
Yeah, but the
one
thing
time
is,
in 24 hours.
Rob, let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you, bro.
The SR-71 proves global.
No, I got him. Listen, what we're saying is this: smoke on a big object that's going 1,000 miles per hour would still leave a trail. So we can go back to the smoke plume argument for this one, right? See, you can't use that RPM shit for everything, bro. What I'm telling you is that's a good argument to make based upon why I don't feel the earth moving. because the RPM, man, is look at what that RPM rate means is Sanchez. The Earth is so big, 1,000 miles per hour on the Earth scale, you ain't gonna perceive it the same because you so tiny. But that's what they're saying. This is a perception-based argument, and that won't change reality, that a smoke plume would have a tail and that you would still have to count, meaning that my perception don't allow me to just ignore the fact that the damn Earth's spinning all together now. It just mean ignore the fact that I'd never be able to feel it, but I would always have to account for it.
No, that's fair enough. But what if there's a way that someone could show you multiple different ways that the Earth does drift 15 degrees an hour?
Okay.
You can measure it. It's measurable. Bob Nodell did it with a ring laser gyroscope. You know Bob Nodell. R.I.P. Bob Nodell.
First of all, I'll say this, right? Bob Nodell did a lot of experiments in his life, and out of all his experiments he did, most of them proved the flat Earth, and the few that he did that you said proved the globe Earth, they didn't really prove a globe Earth. They just was failed experiments that people tried to turn into a hit piece, like the whole 24-hour sun thing. Here's what I would say to the globalists. Here's the thing I would say to you, Rob. I would never show up to a debate the way you showing up, ill-prepared, not knowing nothing, making statements with no proof. But listen, and also listen to me now. You're also using Bob Nodell's, right, research. Y'all use Eratosthenes, Galileo. Those guys had a different model than what y'all trying to prove, just like Bob. So my thing is this: the moment you say Bob proved the Earth was round with an experiment, I'm gonna say, what about his flat Earth experiment that day when he proved it was flat? If we can just start now, if we're gonna listen to Bob, and well, then he proved this flat too. See how this work? Like, that's my thing. Like, so I would tell people, what have you proven? Because y'all keep naming people, and you can't tell me one globe earther in your time that done an experiment. Y'all got to bring up flat earthers experiments. So let me ask you a question, Rob. What if I can show you actual military government documents, right, that shows that the Earth is not rotating and it's flat?
Yeah, I've seen them. Non-stationary, non-rotating fucking plane. Yeah, but there is no
I wanna read the documents, man. And this is what you call denial, because these people will take military.
You don't even know where that's from, though.
Because these people will say, yeah, it does. It's right there. It's from NASA and Langley, and I got the link
but
where
what are they
you can
doing?
go pull
What does
it
it
up.
pertain to?
I'm about to read it. If you'll shut up, man, dog. Why do people who don't know nothing talk so much and then distract when I'm trying to give y'all and read the document? Be quiet, man. You talk, damn. We trying to read. We finna get into all that. So what this thing says is, it says we can read it for yourself. Reading is fundamental, Rob. This report, because you ain't got to ask me nothing. These are receipts. This report derives and defines a set of linearized system matrices for a what? Rigid aircraft of constant mass, flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Both generalized and standard linear system equations are derived from nonlinear 6-degree of freedom equations of motion and a large collection of nonlinear observation equations. So, you know, there's let me show something else what I need to show. This is from NASA.
And what were they testing? Can you find out what they were testing and what was it about? Can you read that part, the upper part?
Yeah.
He ain't listening.
He ain't listening. He ain't listening.
I've heard this. We argued this in Discord all the time.
Just talk about the aircraft.
People bringing this up all the time. People bring it up all the time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, simple and put. It's from the Air Force. It's with Langley. NASA and the Air Force been working together on high-tech aircraft. I can tell you that from when I was in. We saw NASA at a couple of bases. If you're in the Air Force, they like buddies. But yeah, they got a lot of different technologies and stuff. And this technology ain't really based upon the nature of physics as we've been taught. So that's the big secret and a big conspiracy that opens up the door. Like they've lied about the nature of reality. And why would they tell us the truth about it? But you know, but my whole thing is this right here, right? People can look at these government documents and make up all kind of stuff and be in denial. But these same people will say, you know that the Pentagon linked alien documents. I told y'all aliens was real. And they'll take them blurred ass photos and eat it up. But then you show them other documents is even deeper than that. And you see what I'm saying? So if we can just pick and choose, then, you know, that's just bananas. But let me go ahead and share the mic, man.
Hey, Rob, let me ask you a question, Rob. Hey, Rob, let me ask you a question.
I want to reply to bro. But people know what this document is. The people in the know what this document is, and they know what it's about and what it means.
You don't know it.
You don't know what it means, though. We know what it means.
Watch this. Hey, watch this,
speak for itself. It speaks for itself, man.
Rob.
No, hold on. You know, that's like reading. That's like reading a fucking manual for something you don't know nothing about.
Look at what it say right here, y'all. But you can't, bro. I was in the Air Force. I got documents that look like this too. I know how to read these documents, bro. No, I separated from the Air Force. You racist white guy who live in a tent.
Let me ask him a question and see how smart.
Listen, this racist white guy think he know my life. When his beard smell like
I do, Cheddar, bro.
Let me tell you something, bro. I gotta kick you off of here now when your beard smell like potted meat.
He lucky, bro. He lucky. I'm about to wash him up just now.
Yeah, that was so disrespectful.
I'm about to wash him up with one question. He couldn't. No, he wouldn't be able to answer.
He can't answer any questions because, like Brother Sanchez was saying,
Rob got some Vienna sausages in a Ziploc on the side of his bed.
With some pickle juice.
Yeah. He the type nigga that bite a little hole in the pickle juice bag and suck the juice out the bottom like a nipple. Rob go in the store and say, let me get the pig feet with the toenail in it. Come on, Rob. Come on, bro. We can make you the butt of all jokes now.
Of course, that's the only thing you got left to do.
You started, man. We know you. We know you smoke. We know you smoke Winston's. Let's go. You got it.
Hey Rob.
I don't smoke. I haven't smoked cigarettes in over a year. I haven't smoked. I quit smoking cigarettes.
Hey Rob. Hey Rob. Rob, you said the Earth so big, right?
Yep.
What's the circumference of the Earth?
I don't know. Look it up, man.
You don't know the circumference of the Earth?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking you a question. Answer the question.
If I told you what it was, you wouldn't believe me.
Just tell me the answer, man. Do you know it or not? You must be don't know it because you can't answer.
Yeah, I think we both know it.
What is it?
Right? What is it? I don't know. You tell me. Why don't you just tell me?
Oh my God! See how he being? See how you don't know the answer. Just say you don't know.
You want to do pop quizzes, so it doesn't.
Say you don't know.
Right answer. There's no right answer I could give you. I could never give you a right answer. You know what I'm saying? There's no right answer.
So the Earth don't got a circumference number? There ain't no circumference of the globe Earth?
Not that I can say out of my mouth, speak with my words, and you.
Well, what science say the circumference of the Earth is?
I don't know. Have you done the math?
So they don't say it's 24,000. They don't say it's 24,000 miles.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, maybe closer to 25.
Okay, now let me ask you another question. Since you're so smart, what's the circumference of Eurasia?
The circumference of Eurasia?
Yeah.
Is that the continents of Europe and Asia?
What is the circumference of Eurasia, man? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, are you talking about Europe and Asia as one continent? What's the measurement of all their landmass? Oh, I don't.
Man, why are you running from the question, man?
Yeah, running from a question that makes no sense. What's the circumference of Eurasia?
You ain't even let me make my point, but I'm showing you don't know shit. But
there's no point. You asked a question. There was no
point.
Do
you know the answer? Yes or no? Because you don't even know what Eurasia is.
Do I know the circumference of Eurasia?
You don't know it? Just say you don't know, so I can keep on
that's
going.
a very common thing. Most people know that you run into a
But
street.
we
They got
proven that you don't know
You
where you
see,
live, bro.
I ain't even
By
made
the
my
way,
point yet. But y'all see
well,
what
there's no
he's going.
point. You're just rambling. You're trying to
Randy,
Okay,
is that his
all
name?
right.
You got to get the circumference from a circle.
So the circumference of Eurasia is 21,600 miles. So that leaves
What?
2,400 miles left. So where are
okay,
the
buddy.
other continents going to be put on the globe if it's
Oh
only
my god, you're
2,400
so
miles left?
simple, dude. That's what I'm
How do
saying.
you
Are you serious? Is that a real question?
That ain't a
That's
real
a real
question.
question. Come
how
from
do
a
you get a
yeah,
circumference
coming from a
without?
human being with a brain cell moving, working inside their head,
You couldn't answer none of my questions.
Well, actually,
dude.
the circumference he's talking about is basic science. We learned that in elementary. That's what I'm saying. You was not paying attention in
This how
It's the
dumb he
same
elementary.
is.
reason.
You
You want
showing
to know
how
why?
dumb you is.
You want to know why? It's the same reason that if every human held hands around the world, you could do it like 6, 7 times because numbers make
Now you
big.
just saying shit. Now
Correlation,
you
that's
just saying shit.
fallacies, buddy.
Now
Yeah,
you
Not
No,
just
it's
saying talking
science.
fact.
about holding hands and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Go look it up. You're not understanding the
What
size
I
of
got to do with what I asked you and you ain't got nothing to answer for that?
Eurasia, because the continent of because if you're talking about Eurasia, all the way around the whole perimeter is going to be long, yeah. And I guarantee if you made a straight line, it might go around
Why
the
is it only
world.
2,400 miles less than the whole Earth's circumference though? Where does it give room for other continents being put on it?
Exactly.
because he's over
What are
there.
you talking
You see
about?
how dumb you is?
The Earth is
Do you see
big.
how dumb you are?
No, you don't understand. You don't understand
See, he
geography
always
at
said
all.
that's his answer. You don't understand, but
Bro,
you ain't
you're
answered none of my
believing everything
questions.
in the internet.
Because there's no
Everything
other
in
His
the
answer
answer.
internet
is
is not
always
the truth.
somebody you don't understand, but you the only one
I,
that like you don't understand shit.
okay, fine. I like to walk
You
you
can't
through
even
why you
come
don't
up with your
understand.
own
Okay,
argument. You can't even ask me a simple
I like to
question.
walk you through why you don't understand. I like to walk you through why you don't understand.
No, you can't do that because the whole stream you just been repeating yourself. And what Brother Sanchez is saying, he's agreeing with your point. That's such a minuscule point, and he moved on from that point so many times. We're talking about deep level science. Why do you think this stuff is housed at the doctoral level? Like it goes deep. But the concept that you're talking about are stuff that you learn in elementary school. He's talking
No,
about some
sorry.
complex concepts that go
No, not in any
beyond
way.
the
You can't
science.
even think for yourself, Rob.
Not in any way, shape, or form.
He's trying to get you
That's
to think a
absolutely
little
absurd.
deeper, like you all
His answer to me was people holding hands together. That was his answer. Or
No,
people
if
come
you listen
together
to
and
what I
hold
was
hands.
saying, was, yeah, you can go around the world
I
multiple
just
times.
want to say something, y'all. Rob tried to make it like this black man was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force, and I thought that was a real green light for me to roast him. So I'm going to keep roasting him for the rest of the show in case y'all want to know. But go ahead.
No, I know you try to bro, man. You were
No, let's just keep
school nice
on.
guy.
No explaining. And we roasting now, and we going to
All right.
keep
You
debating.
see
Go
how he
ahead.
didn't want to deal with that? You see how he didn't want to deal with the argument? He deflected, but he come on the show and never got nothing. You see that?
yeah, because what happened with the flat earth
I just
people,
exposed you, boy.
they want to make everything difficult. Like even when Brother Sanchez is putting a document, you don't even need any science degree to understand this document. He's telling you that they are saying the earth is flat. Like our ancestors were even saying the earth was flat. Why were they saying that? And they had no telescope. They had
No
no
ancestors ever said the
no
earth was
stuff
flat.
from today. They
You
just
can't
See,
name
going
see
one.
what he do?
outside, looking around, and they were like, "Oh, the earth is flat." Instantly, they knew because it's
How would they
common.
be?
It's
Hey, let
common
me
No,
sense.
say,
that
I
That's
got
We're
one
just
more
debating
like
announcement.
the specifics.
I
human
gotta
beings
give a
learn.
shout out. I gotta give a shout out to Dante Ragland for the super chat. A shout out to Hydrogen. They still won't get it for sure. Astro 40K. Keep cooking, Rob. He's been getting Thanos snapped every stream. Big facts. And shout out to my people, Dantana. Laughing my ass off, bite a whole pickle in a juice bag. Bro, we over here crying. Great stream. That's what's up, bro. We lit. We lit,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Let's get it, man. We here.
Yeah,
Rob is
Hey,
getting beat through the gauntlet.
because when they're making that argument, what happened is they loop themselves and they wind up proving our point because they're making our argument for us because their own mind is bringing the logic together as they're speaking, and when they get frustrated and they realize that we're right, then they start like like no,
Doctor,
come on, your brain is
you got
picking up on it too.
Doctor, you gotta realize, you gotta understand that they only rely on fallacies. They don't have reasoning. So what they do is they deflect. They will always deflect with fallacies. They don't have actual knowledge. Science comes from the Greek word science, which means To know. It doesn't mean knowledge. It doesn't mean intellect. It means to know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Great, great.
That's all you do is agree, disagree with stuff, but never prove why
Yeah,
you
no,
disagree
he's
or nothing.
right.
You
Because
can't never. You won't bring no argument or nothing. You ain't using no
What are you
common
talking
sense.
about? I got all the
No, you
answers, all the
don't. You keep
arguments.
denying stuff and just saying stuff, bro. You ain't
Well, you
said
can't
nothing
ever
yet.
you can never have a conversation here. Everybody just wants to yell.
We are trying to, Rob, but you don't allow us to.
I was
want to
asking you
say, I
questions,
want to
Rob,
make a
and you
quick
wouldn't even answer the
announcement.
questions.
I want to say something to everybody in the chat room. Stand by. We're gonna have a brief little intermission. It ain't gonna be like it's like a 2-minute break, but the stream will continue. We're not done. So just keep listening. But if you hear the stream stop for a minute, just keep listening. You'll hear us talk. It'd probably be like 1 minute. But yeah, y'all go ahead. We good.
Thank you. Rob, listen. We are
Man,
not
somebody
trying
else
to.
need to talk, man. I'm tired of hearing Rob voice. He don't know nothing. That nigga don't know nothing.
I know he
Well,
don't know
man, hey,
nothing.
man, you guys don't get any
because
clovers in here.